first topic I want to talk about really quick before we get into some other things is that I don't like bitch ass niggas. And the reason why I want to start off with that is because
game is about helping us learn the rules of manhood. And a lot of times what happens is we don't fully believe in the rules. We don't fully believe in the information.
You cannot fear rejection.
We got to stand on business out there, meaning that the bitches ain't gonna even fuck with me if they don't think that I'm willing to go the distance behind some shit.
everybody in this room, if you had a bitch ass moment, raise your hand.
When I say I am, I want you to say a motherfucking man. I am a motherfucking man.
Like I said, y'all should have bitches. I'm amazed. It's a struggle for some of y'all.
Once you find something that you're into, it comes before everything else. And then even when you deal with a woman who's into you, she has to compete with that thing, whatever the fuck that is, right?
Stand up if you believe in fear. Stand up right now. Everybody stand the fuck up.
You know, I say bitch a lot and nigga a lot, but, you know, it's with good intention and a lot of love in it and whatnot.
If I'm feeling insecure, is this really me, or did somebody teach me how to feel this way?
I am a motherfucking man.
Still ain't getting women? Really? Come on, son. You need to go to badboymembership.com and step up your game. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game, and I'm telling you that if you really want to attract beautiful women, you need to go to badboymembership.com. This is where you get 45 through 90-minute step-by-step dating advice tutorials every month. Just sign up, follow the advice, and you'll get the woman you want. Go to badboymembership.com. That's badboymembership.com. It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game, and I want to tell you about my documentary, Game Kings, The Definition of Game, starring myself, the Boss Mac Top Soil, Rosebud, Ron Wills, Miles Cunningham, and much more. In this documentary, you're going to learn about confidence, manhood, attracting women, and the definition of the game. To get this documentary, go to MrLocario.com.
Some people think you need a sports car to get what you want. Some people think you need $1 million. Some people think you need looks, status. The only thing you need is what they can't get unless they come straight to you. And that's your identity. Join the Masculine Identity membership today. MasculineIdentityMembership.com. Masculine Identity Soap. This luxurious, quality, high lather, high moisturizing, all natural bar soap has been handcrafted with care and consistency to provide a quality cleansing experience for self-care, focus, and productivity. Specially formulated for cold showers. Stay clean, gentlemen. Masculine Identity Soap.
We are here. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Oh my goodness, today's show is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. I'm excited because, you know, I love to break the game down. We gotta break the game down. You feel what I'm saying? Because woo, shit is crazy, man. But shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the building Who we got up in here? Fat John, 91, Dan, Studio Her Music in the building. Justin is in the building. Guzman, Soulmonger, Ben Paul, Chris, June Sports, Zati is in the building. Nam, Mon is in the building. My dude, Unique 79 in the building. What's going on? Shout out to my dude, Joe Blast in the motherfucking building. And shout out to my lady, April MC in the motherfucking building. Shout out to Art, Manuel, Respect the Truth. Baz is in the building. Real Infamous was going on. Cilianis was popping. Truth's Perspective is in the building, man. Shout out to everybody. 360 Leaky. Zay is in the building. Humanoid was going on. Duke Alex, Henry was popping. A lot of people up in here. So, for those who don't know, so I did actually a interview with a young lady named Abbie Chatfield. She is, TV show host, radio personality, reality TV star, all that stuff. And she's in Australia. And, she's been doing her thing. And so what happened is she actually stumbled upon the video I did with Jubilee a few months back. And she took some clips of that and then she commented on it, right? And what happened was that her producer, I guess, came out, contacted me. Was like, hey, we want to have you as a guest on the show. And I'm like, cool, let's get it cracking. Let's do this, right? And then so we did this, we did the podcast, and I'm not even sure if they have it on YouTube yet, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be showing some excerpts of the podcast, and I'm gonna just play the audio, and then we're gonna be talking about it. But I'm also gonna show two clips from the shorts from the podcast. One is when she did when she was talking about me, and the other one was me on it, and some of y'all probably saw it already, right? And we're just gonna break this down because I titled this show "Why Men Must Speak the Truth to Women at All Times." Right now, the reason why it's important for men to speak the truth to women at all times is because what happens is that you need to basically let the women know that you know what's up. See, women know what's up. You understand what I'm saying? But you want them to know that you know what's up. And the reason why you want them to know that you know what's up, so that they can't play you, try to gaslight you, try to make you look like you're crazy. This, because what happens is guys who are naive, what they do is that they just take what women say for face value. And generally women are very good and skilled at, shaping things a certain way or putting out a certain narrative. Right. And so what I want to do in this video is I'm going to show you guys, what's actually going on out here in these streets when it comes to you interacting with these women in general, but also why it's important to speak the truth. Because what happens is when you're speaking the truth, when you're saying what you're saying, right, it's being said. So the person who it's being said to can act as if they don't understand what you're talking about, but it's being said. So they like, okay, yeah, I see what's going on. Because what's going to happen is people are going to try to shift narratives and stuff like that. And shout out to, Abbie Chatfield. This is in no way, shape or form to make fun of her or anything like that, or her producer or whatever. This is nothing, because I appreciate them having me on the show. You understand what I'm saying? So this is just, a difference in, perspectives, right? And so the thing is, when I'm a guest on a person's show, right, I'm always, trying to basically, or I should say this, I'm trying not to take over and put too much in, because it's not my show. You understand what I'm saying? So I respect the fact that I'm on someone else's platform. So I'm not going to go ham, but I'm going to tell the truth, but I'm not going to go crazy because it's not my platform. Now, this is my platform. So we're going to break this shit all the way down. And we have way more time, and I could really go in. You feel what I'm saying? So I put out the nuggets on the interviews, but what happens is that this game is so deep that it can't, it's hard for people to understand when they don't really understand. But I'm going to break this shit all the way down so that you guys get it. Because what I don't want you guys to do is, I don't want you guys to go out there in the world second guessing yourself and
questioning your masculinity or questioning, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't, be this way because, people are saying that I'm toxic because I'm a man and because, I have things that I want to do. And if I do these things, that means that I'm being mean to people. If I actually have a standard of how I want to live my life and all this other stuff. And on top of that, what I teach and what I preach is about freedom. You feel what I'm saying? So we're going to jump into all of this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through everything I got to go through. Then I'm going to turn the phone lines on and then you guys can call in. So we're going to do no phone calls right now, but what we're going to do is later after I go through this whole thing. I want this. There's so much things that need to be broken down so that, you guys have a clear understanding of what's going on. So now let's first, what I first want to do is I want to show these two clips from, Instagram. Now, this first clip is of her seeing me on the Jubilee show. So let's watch this real quick.
Women have
and
to
check this
earn
out.
good.
Women have to earn good.
A lot of these girls, they usually go home and cry at night from being lonely, from not having a man.
I've never sat at home and gone, I'm single. Like, never.
My shirt says submissive women are sexy. Okay, so
Yeah, it's true, man.
Is it true, though?
when a woman is dominant over that man, she can't respect him.
So you're saying that you want to dominate your partner, but as soon as your partner dominates you, they can't respect you. Therefore, what you're saying is you don't respect your partner.
You don't see women doing things that could make them equal to the men. You don't see the women approaching the men. You don't see the women paying for the date.
Well, obviously that's not true. Let's take Mr. Locario at his word. He is actively seeking out women that adhere to patriarchal standards that he wants to, who are the most submissive of all submissive. Therefore, he is doing a self-fulfilling prophecy saying no women ever want to pay for anything. I wish we could talk to Mr. Locario.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, I've done a little bit of research.
Oh, what?
Guess what his job is? I'm a dating and life coach.
No, he's not. Okay, see if we can get in contact with him to see how he's going to help my life. My life.
All right, so let's break down a little bit of what she's saying. So she commented on when I said that, I'm not going to give good dick to a new woman, right? Now, what I teach you guys is a woman has to earn everything, right? And that includes, I should say great dick, not good dick. You give them good enough dick, but not great dick, right? So they got to earn great dick, right? And so what happens is that when you are out here interacting with women, right? And you're hooking up with girls and having casual sex, right? Let's say you meet a girl at a bar, at a club, or you're on the first date and y'all hook up, right? You are not, or this is ridiculous, right? To overextend yourself and do way too much for a woman that you don't know. And even vice versa. She don't necessarily need to go all out for you either because y'all don't know each other. So what happens is that, let's say, for example, you're in a relationship or you've been with a woman for a long time. Usually what happens is that people have better sex if they're in a longer relationship because there's probably more you can do. So for example, and most people, fuck up with this, but if you're just meeting someone, usually the sex you're going to have is protected, meaning you're going to have sex with a condom. Most people would say having sex without a condom feels better, right? Which means that it's going to be a better experience, right? Now, check this out. If having sex without a condom is a better experience, which means she's going to get better dick, right? Why would I do that when I first met you? No, when I first meet you, I'm putting on a condom, which means it's not going to be as good or as great as us not having a condom. But we're not at that place. So you have to earn having sex with me without a condom. You understand what I'm saying? Or let's say you're with a girl who you actually love, right? You might have sex with her. Y'all cuddle a little bit afterwards. You might go for a round two or whatever. Y'all cuddle in a bed and all that other shit. If I don't know you, why would I be having 2, 3, 4 rounds of sex going crazy, cuddling with you? I don't know you. You understand what I'm saying? So when I first meet you, yeah, we could have a little fun, but I'm not giving you great dick because you haven't earned great dick. It's that simple. It's that simple, right? Now, the part where I said that women cry their eyes, cry because they don't have a boyfriend, they don't have a man. You know how I know this? Because I actually coach women for a living. And this is the stuff that women tell me. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is not some shit I'm pulling out my ass. So what happens is that most women, what'll go down is that they're in a situation where they have guys who want to have sex with them, but it's hard for them to find a guy who wants to commit. So the sadness comes from like, damn, all these guys want to fuck, but they don't actually want to stay. And so I teach women how to be attractive enough to find a guy that's going to want to stay. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, the thing is that a lot of people, what happens is that when they hear certain aspects of the game, they don't understand it yet because they're not really deep into what the game is actually about. They're very surface level with it. You understand it? And it is what it is. They just don't understand that type of, rhetoric or what's going down. You see what I'm saying? And so the thing is that, and this is the funny part. She also said, I want to make this clear because we're going to talk about this later. She was like, oh, well, he said that if a woman's dominating her man, she's not going to respect him. But then she's like, well, if you're dominating your woman, then that means she's not going to respect you. No. See, the issue is that men and women are not equal. Men and women do not respond the same way, right? What was interesting in this entire interview we had, which they actually cut out of the interview, was we had a whole back and forth about men and women not being equal. You understand? But their sentiment is, well, why can't we both be leading at a certain time and why can't we both be equal? And that's not how shit works. You see what I'm saying? And I think one other thing she said was, I was talking about how men are the ones that are taking the action. We're the ones approaching, setting the date, paying for the date. Right now, is there a time where maybe one girl here or there has approached a guy? Maybe. Are there times where women took guys out and paid for it? Of course, I've had that happen. I've had women take me out and pay for it. But the majority of the time, they're not. You understand what I'm saying? They're not. Right? So this is what I'm saying, where we got to keep this real. I even said this on the interview. I said, yo, I teach reality. I don't teach all of this, hope and nonsense that you hear on the internet all day. I teach reality. Right? Exactly. And Jay said the part they say that, they don't believe in masculine energy. Yes, we're going to get into all of that in a second. Now, what I'm going to show you guys is I'm going to show you the video. Some of y'all saw this already. This is the video they put out yesterday, the clip of the actual interview, but they chopped this up like crazy. But let's watch this real quick.
I'm telling a woman to wear this and put on this dress, and she's like, yes, finally a man that's telling me what to do because it turns me on to be with a guy who's masculine. If you refuse, then that means that you may not necessarily want to date a man who's a leader.
Are you advising men that you are coaching to say openly on the first date, listen, I want to make all the decisions. Are you giving them full informed consent in the relationship?
No, he doesn't have to say all of that. He just sees what the action is.
No, see, that's not
informed consent.
Controlling thing.
How have I been doing this for 17 years?
I think what's happening is you're playing off patriarchal ideas that are creating environments that are manipulative and that are making women submit and finding ways to control women. So
I've never said anything about manipulation, and I've never said anything about control.
It's my way or the highway.
Yes, it is my way or the highway. Why? But how am I controlling her?
Yeah, without research to back
what
it
I'm
up.
saying is,
let Abbie finish. Let Abbie finish.
Hey,
Locario.
Go ahead.
Now, so basically, what happened in the clip is this, right? And the parts that were cutting up and everything. So what she was saying is, and she said this in a podcast, and we'll probably get to that in a second too. She said, so I'm basically telling her, look, a man has to be a leader. And what she's saying is, well, do you tell a woman on the first date that you're going to be taking care of everything and leading everything and she's going to follow your lead? And do you tell this to the woman on the first date so that they can consent to your leadership? Right? And basically what I'm saying is this. I say, no, I don't need to tell you I'm going to lead. I just lead. I'm going to say that again. You do not need to tell a woman you're going to lead. You just lead. Right? So if I say to a woman, listen, meet me Friday, 8:00 at the Main Street bar. Right? I am leading. I'm telling her what to do. Now, her coming to meet me Friday at 8:00 at the Main Street bar is her consenting to my leadership. Like, how is this so complicated to understand? How is this so complicated to understand? I don't need to on the first date say, hey, listen, you know what? Our relationship, because we don't have a relationship right now. The only relationship we have right now is we're on a first date interacting. I don't know if I want to see you after this. You don't know if you're going to want to see me after this, right? So why would I be telling her, hey, listen, this is how things are going to go with us? There is no us. There's just right now. And right now, I'm telling you what to do. I'm giving you directions. The directions is the leadership. You following the direction is you consenting to want to follow the leadership. You see what I'm saying? But see, what happens is that, and we're gonna show this in a second. I'm gonna play some of the clips of the interview. Is that, see, what happens is that you have certain women that they don't understand, you know, how a man leads. They don't understand it because what happens is if you're not in a relationship with a man who's a leader, you don't understand this stuff. Or you haven't met a man that you're attracted to like that to follow his lead. And what was funny was that she said, you know, oh, but you're like manipulating her, doing this. And then she tried to cut it with me saying, well, it's my way or the highway. Yes. And they're like, you're controlling. So what happens is that when you say it's my way or the highway implies, right, that you can go, which means that there is no control. That means you have the freedom to go. There is no control in freedom. You understand what I'm saying? It was the crazy thing about this podcast is I could hear all of what Mr. Locario was saying. So I knew when I was listening, they edited out a good portion of what he said to make their portion look strong. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I'm gonna show some of those parts too, you know, with what was going on, right? Now, what I wanted to show you guys real quick is some screenshots, because under these videos, I had some people. Hold on, do I have the screenshots here, or did I not upload the screenshots? Hold on, let me see if the screenshots are still here. I don't know why this thing does this, where I upload stuff and then it like lets. Oh no, there we go. I see it. It's right there. Okay, let me show you these screenshots. So I went on her page, right? Let me take this off for a second. Let me take this off for a second. You take all this off for a second. Right. So I went on Abbie's page, and this was under the video that you just saw. Right. So this was the only woman in her chat, in her comments, the only woman who got it. Right. And I'm going to read this. So this woman said, ladies, you're missing the point. It's not about control at all. It's about being submissive to a real man. When you meet one, you will understand that that submissiveness comes naturally. It's not about control at all. It's about allowing a secure, real man to take the lead and give you space to feel safe and discover a woman's sacred, soft, feminine side. God damn it. Applaud that woman. Applaud that woman. Now, look at what this person responded to her and said. This other woman said, LOL, nah, there's nothing natural about it. Being submissive because it was men wouldn't have to, he said, being submissive, there's nothing natural about being submissive because if there was, men wouldn't have to force women into it. Now, I want to ask you guys a question. Where is the forcing in my way or the highway? The highway means go to the highway. You can leave. Be free. Be merry. What the fuck? Right? And now let me show you this other comment. This is what somebody left under my video on my page. So I'll put this on my page. And so this guy, he says, because basically this lady above him wrote a message talking about coercive control, and we're going to get into that in a second. But he says, chill, nobody is talking about all that, and you're taking it out of context. It's not control. Let me tell you why. Freedom. He's talking about me, this is my path, take it or leave it. You have the freedom of choice with guys like that. Freedom and control cannot exist at the same time. Problem is, y'all be in your masculine too much to even see what he's getting at. Right now, this lady replies and she says, and she got the nerve to have my girlfriend's name. She says, it's not freedom if there is no informed consent and he is withholding affection, attention, love, finances, intimacy, and as a result of not getting what he wants. That is abuse. Please do some research on this topic to keep women safe. Really? Really, nigga? Let me show this again. It is not freedom when there is no informed consent and he is withdrawing affection, attention, love, finances, intimacy, and a result of not getting what he wants. Now, and this is what I said on the podcast, but they took this out. I said, and I wish they would have kept this in, but they took this out, right? I said that in a relationship, let's say between a man and woman, it could be man, woman, whatever. In a relationship, nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you anything. You understand? Nobody owes you anything. So what that means is this, is that if you meet a woman, because let's flip it, because it's always this thing where, oh, you guys are doing this to these women. Let's flip it for the women. If a woman meets you and y'all go on a date and you have a good time on that date, right? And then you see her again, let's say next week, and y'all go out again, right? And let's say she doesn't have sex with you and she doesn't return your calls, you're hitting her up, you're trying to see her again because you really like her. That woman does not owe you anything. That woman does not have to see you again, go on another date with you. She don't have to have sex with you. She doesn't owe you anything. And the same thing applies on the flip side. If you go out with a woman, right, and you don't want to see her again, you do not need to see her again. If you go out with a woman and y'all hook up and y'all have sex, right, and you don't want to see her after the sex, you don't have to see her again. Now, this is what I will say about that, though. What I think is not good is to lie and pretend you want something and then be manipulative and then flip it and onto something else. So I don't think it's good to tell a woman, hey, I really am feeling this connection and I really want to build a life with you, girl, and blah, blah, blah. And then you smash and then you bounce. I think that's wrong because then you're being manipulative, right? But if you're just going out, kicking it with a chick, seeing how the vibe is, you say, you know what? Not really feeling her. And then you keep it moving, right? You don't owe her nothing, right? Because look, I want to bring this up again. She says, withdrawing affection, attention, love, finances, intimacy as a result of not getting what he wants. So if I meet a woman and let's say I want to take her, or let's say I meet a woman and I'm talking to her at a bar and I want to hook up with her, I want to have sex with her. And she says, no, I don't want to have sex with you. So now I'm going to withdraw my attention and affection or like all these things. Why is she entitled to these things? Why is she entitled to my affection? Why is she entitled to my attention? Why is she entitled to my love? Why is she entitled to my finances? Why is she entitled to intimacy with, she's like saying no. Right now, let's bring it to the aspect of us being in a long-term relationship. Now, let's say me and this woman, is together for, let's say, a year or two, right? And then let's say within that, we're the boyfriend and girlfriend, and we've already gone over, because this is what happens when you're in the vetting process. A woman knows what it's supposed to be with you. You've gone over what it means to be with you, and she's agreeing, she's consenting, right? Now, let's say 2 years into the relationship, you say, hey, I'm gonna need you to do this. Now, remember, she's consented to your leadership for the past 2 years. And this is how you like it, and this is how you want it. So now, let's say she's like, you know what? I don't want to do what you're saying. So you're like, okay. So now let's say because you've been with her for 2 years, you might extend her some grace. You might say, listen, I don't like that this dynamic is happening, but I'm letting you know that I'm gonna need you to follow me like you've been following me for the past 2 years. Or if you don't follow me, then I'm about to bounce. So now let's say she still doesn't follow you again. Then, yes, you withdraw your affection, attention, love, all that shit. Why? Because she's not following you. So why would you be in a relationship with a woman who's no longer doing the things that you want her to do? Remember, nobody owes you anything. You understand what I'm saying? See, the beautiful part about relationships, and this is what I said in the show, which they cut out. I wish they'd have kept it in. And, I don't know how long their shows is, so maybe they had to cut out certain parts and just fit in what they had to fit in. But in the show, I said, the beautiful part about relationships is that you wake up every day and you choose to be with that person, and that person chooses to be with you. Right? Y'all don't have to be there. Y'all don't have to be with each other. So what happens is that every day you wake up, you choose to be with that person. So nobody owes you their love. Nobody owes you their attention. At any moment, the person you're in a relationship with could say, you know what? I don't want this anymore. And they don't even have to give you an explanation. They can just be like, I don't feel like doing this. Now, would it be nice if they give you an explanation? Cool. That would be cool. Right? But they don't owe you it. They could just be like, I'm bouncing. The reason could just be, I ain't feeling it no more. Right? See, there's this thing, this thing, I don't know, some of y'all might have heard of it. There's this thing called ghosting. People ghost people every day. People get ghosted every day. Now people will say, well, that's not right, Locario. People shouldn't ghost. They should communicate and say, hey, this and that, and give people closure and all that other stuff. Right? Now, I actually don't agree with ghosting. I think, at least say something and say, hey, listen, I don't feel this. Maybe we should move on. Cool. I think that's a better option. But guess what? People do ghost. And guess what? People don't owe you an explanation as to why they left. It doesn't matter how you feel. So a person can ghost you and you feel upset, heartbroken, distraught. Guess what? Tough. That's life. That's life. You can cry about it. You can bitch and moan about it. But guess what? The person who ghosted you don't owe you shit. They don't owe you shit. They don't owe you shit. You see what I'm saying? But see, the problem is that people feel entitled to certain things, but they don't owe you shit. You feel what I'm saying? Deal with that shit. But this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull up the some of the interview. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be jumping around this interview. It's about an hour long, so I don't want to play the whole thing, right? But I'm gonna pull this up, and I'm just gonna go to certain parts of the video So this is the audio of the actual, let me just change this to this real quick. So yeah, so this is audio of the podcast. So it's a podcast called It's a Lot with Abbie Chatfield, right? And so I'm not going to go through the whole thing. So I'm actually fast forwarding to like the 11-minute mark where this is the part of the interview where she was asking my advice on how she can get a man. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm going to play this and then, I'm going to start it. And then we're going to get into all that stuff. So let's.
You're allowing me to say that. Then you're 100% right. So far, this is crazy. Well, you know me. I'm actually quite scared.
But she also wants, her ick, I guess, is somebody taking advantage of her in any way. Like that is her biggest insecurity. She does not want anybody, especially if it has to do with money or anything financial, because she's actually quite well known.
So that right there is her co-host talking about Abbie, and I asked her like what type of guy she wanted or whatever, saying that, Abbie doesn't want a guy to take advantage of her and, and all that other stuff. But let's continue.
In Australia and has her own little mini Abbie empire. She does not want anybody to just come along for the ride, basically, and take advantage of her in some way.
That's so true, Lem. And they also have to be willing, but they have to listen to me, but also be willing to tell me when I'm wrong,
That's true. That's
as rare as it is. That's so true, Lem. Yeah, someone ambitious, has her shit together.
So she said someone that's willing to tell her she's wrong, as rare it is. But it's funny because in order for you to have a guy that tells you that you're wrong, you really got to be dealing with a leader. A guy who's not a leader is not going to tell you that you're wrong. You understand what I'm saying? Most dudes who are in relationships who are being led by their women don't tell their women when they're wrong. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue.
Is intelligent and can kind of fight me on certain things, but not too much.
Okay, so what I'm gonna ask you next is usually what I ask all women when I coach them is, do you want a guy who's going to lead you, or do you want a guy you're going to lead?
I want us to both equally lead. Why does it have to be him or me?
See, here we go. So remember, this is the part where she's asking my advice on attracting a man. Now I said it's a simple question. Do you want to follow a man, meaning do you want a leader? You understand what I'm saying? Or do you want to lead your man? Now, the reason why that's an important question is because in order for you to get what you want out of a relationship, right, you have to have a certain goal, right? So, and within that goal, within getting that goal, you need to see if it's feasible for you to get that goal based off of who you are and what you want. So what happens is that if you're in a situation where you want a man who's a leader, right? You're going to have to understand that your man's going to give you direction, right? Your man's going to expect you to follow him, all these different things. But usually what happens is, and this is what I was saying in the podcast, is that what women don't understand is that if they find a guy they're really interested in and they respect him and they're in love with him, they are going to want to follow his lead. And usually what happens is women who deal with guys who are following them, meaning the woman is leading, right? At first, it's like cool because it feels safe, meaning like it feels like, oh, well, I'm leading, so this guy isn't going to challenge me to step up and be a better woman. You understand what I'm saying? And so therefore, this is a more safer interaction to deal with. But let's continue. Let's continue.
It can't be equal. It has to be one or the other.
Why?
Because what's going to happen is, even if you think, I'm going to tell you why. Even if you think it's equal, someone's always going to be leading. So it's either going to be you or him.
But is it like a permanent setting, or will it change? Because I feel like it ebbs and flows.
Yeah. No. So yeah, it'll generally be a permanent thing. So what I'm saying is that somebody has to, in the relationship, be the more submissive one. So.
And see, this is the problem with people when it comes to relationships and why they don't actually have successful relationships, because there's always going to be that dynamic where somebody's leading, somebody's following. You understand? You have that dynamic in basically damn near everything that you see going on, right? So if you're in a car, somebody's driving. You understand what I'm saying? You know, there's the captain of the ship. There's the coach of the team. You understand? So within, like, and this is the thing. So for example, Miles does photography. So Miles would do weddings and shit. And sometimes I would come to help him with the weddings, right? And so what would happen is that Miles is the professional photographer. I'm there to help him. So in that situation, he's leading and I'm following. So he might say, Locario, go help me with those lights, put them lights up there and, you know, do that and do this. And then he'll take the pictures and all that other stuff. Right? So within any of these dynamics, there's always somebody that's leading. The problem is that there's this thing where, again, where people think we're all equal. You understand? Now, see, this is the thing. We're equal in the sense that we're all human beings. But the differences with men and women is the thing that makes us not equal. You see what I'm saying? But let's continue. Let's continue.
What I'm asking is, are you willing to be the more submissive one, or do you want your man to be the more submissive one?
Can I just backtrack on this? What do you mean by dominant? Let's actually, because everybody understands.
And that right there is her producer, just for y'all to know, so you can, you know, remember the voice.
Find this differently. So what do you mean by somebody who takes the lead and somebody who takes the back seat and allows themselves to be led?
All right, so you already know what I'm gonna say on that. So let me fast forward to this part at 16. I'm gonna get to this part. There's 16 somethings. I want you guys to hear this part. Hold on. Let me fast forward a little bit. Okay, now this part right here is interesting, and we're gonna go over this part because this part is very, very important. So this is the part where her producer talks about something called coercive control. And this is what she thinks that I'm teaching and that I'm doing, right? But let's play this part. Let's play this part.
To accompany me to this event.
Hold on, right? That's not that part. Let me fast forward a little to where it's supposed to be. Okay, let me fast forward. Okay, it's around right here.
That's all I'm saying.
So can I ask, do you know what coercive control is? Oh. Did I jump the gun too much?
Say that
again? Do you know what coercive control is?
No, explain that.
Okay. It involves any behavior which scares, hurts, isolates, humiliates, harasses, monitors, takes away another person's freedom, or unreasonably controls their day-to-day activities. So if we hone in on unreasonably controls their day-to-day activities by telling them what they're allowed to wear, and coercive control, by the way, in some countries in the world is considered like a crime. So what delineates this unreasonable day-to-day control from the relationship dynamic that you're talking about?
Yeah, the difference is that she doesn't have to do it.
But
you see what I'm saying? So there is no control. You're basically doing it because you want to. Like, you don't have to do it.
Okay, so you don't have to do it.
You see what I'm saying? So if he said, "Hey, wear this, wear that," you can say no.
And if you say no, does that mean you don't want to be with a leader? But what if you just don't like the dress?
Yes, and if you say no, then he might. Right. So if you say no, that means that you don't want to follow his lead, which means you don't want to be with a leader. And then if you do say no, he can just withdraw himself from the situation, which means that he may fall back and not want to be with you.
So that does sound like coercive control.
Okay, so basically, she said a guy telling a woman what he wants and then her not doing it and him leaving is coercive control. But let's look up what coercive control is. Let's see what this says real quick. Coercive control is an act or a pattern of acts of assault, threats, humiliation, and intimidation or other abuse that is used to harm, punish, or frighten their victim. I'm going to say it again. Let's read it again, class. Coercive control is an act or pattern of acts of assault, threats, humiliation, and intimidation or other abuse that is used to harm, punish, or frighten their victim. Come on, son. Come on, son. So basically, you going out with a woman or going out with a woman and telling her, hey, I want you to wear this. And she refuses. And you say, fine, cool, no problem. Good luck. We don't have to go out. You have a nice day. Is that threats and abuse? And what are we talking about? Let's look at it again. So you're trying to tell me if I am going out on a date with a woman and I tell her, hey, I want you to sit over here because I like this couch. And she says, no, I don't want to sit over there. And then I say, okay, cool. Well, the date is over. I'm not interested. Is that an act of assault? Is that a threat? Is that humiliation? Is that intimidation? Is that abuse? Is that harm? Is that frightening them? No. I'm leaving. What are we talking about here? You see what I'm saying? Now, let's look at this part. Let's look at examples of coercive control. So this says types of coercive control. Isolating you from your family and friends. Now, where am I telling a motherfucker to isolate a woman that they're dating, that they're in a relationship with, from their family and friends? Listen, I will give y'all $1,000 if you can find a video clip of me saying that ever. I will cash app you $1,000 right now. Controlling what you eat, wear, or do, right? Now, in the example I said the guy says to her, hey, listen, I want you to wear this dress and put on these shoes for this date. But guess what? It's not controlling because why? Because she can say no. And nothing's going to happen to her. You understand? Justin said, well, hold on. I tell my girl what to eat, wear, and do. Justin, they're going to say you're coercive controlling her, bro. Because, she has no agency. She has no agency, man. Right? It's the other one. Controlling who you are allowed to see or spend time with. Again, I will cash app you motherfuckers $1,000 right now. If you can find a video where I'm telling you to allow a chick or to control who she's allowed to see or spend time with. Then it says preventing you from accessing support. What? Who's doing that? We're not doing that shit. Gaslighting. No, I say be honest with these women. There's no gaslighting. Monitoring your behavior online or in person. Listen, this is not the red pill, okay? There's no monitoring your behavior. I don't give a shit if you're on Instagram, Facebook. I don't give a shit. Tracking you, for example, using your phone or car. Listen, let me tell you something. First of all, if I meet a woman, you think that I care about a woman that I just met that much, that I would do all of this shit? Fuck no. You understand what I'm saying? Like, or I'm really that enamored or enthralled with a woman that I'm going to do it? No. And even when I'm in a relationship, the woman always has freedom to go. There's no control in this situation. No control. You understand what I'm saying? But let's continue because I want to keep going through some of these clips. So let's fast forward a little bit. And guys, if you want to watch this entire thing, I should put the link in the bottom of this video. I'll put that afterwards. But let me fast forward to another part because I'll put the timestamps on here. So this part where she was talking about masculinity. Let's see what
you don't want to do it. That's also fine too. You just don't be with that type of man. So that's what I'm saying, where you have to figure out what type of man you want to be with, so it's the best fit for you. That a guy who's a leader may not be the best fit for Abbie. You see what I'm saying? Because you're probably not going to want a man telling you what to do.
But do you think that telling someone what to do is masculine?
Yes, absolutely. Because you're leading and you're giving direction. And what happens is that if a masculine man, what he does is he has a program and a structure. And so within that program and structure, he wants things a certain way. And so what he's looking for is a woman who's going to fit into that. A guy who is the opposite, he doesn't have that type of structure. So he's trying to fit into your situation. And that's why I said, if you're okay with you leading, that's fine. He'll fit into your structure and your situation.
Okay, can I ask, where is the resource that tells you that masculine is the definition that you've just said? Is that your definition, or is that a resource that you've come across?
No. What I'm saying is that masculine energy is about taking action.
Yes, I know. But where is that information from? Like, do you have a resource that says this is what masculine energy is?
Lem is so sweet, but listen, this is the part that kills me a lot of times when I do stuff like this, where people are saying, well, where are the stats? Where's the research? I am the research. You see what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about here? But let's continue. I'm gonna go into this. Let's go.
Or is that your opinion? Is it a fact or is it an opinion?
No, I'm not saying it's my opinion. I'm saying that when you look at society, when you look at, for example, if you see men and women in a bar or club, who's approaching who?
No, I'm still going back to my question. Is this idea that masculine is the leader or they make the plans, is that documented anywhere? Like, is there a document?
No, I don't. I mean, it could be. I'm not sure exactly where it's documented. I'm just saying that is what masculine energy is. What I'm saying is it's the energy of movement and action.
I know, but usually when people have the debate, right? When people are arguing things, they actually have references. They have like little pieces of facts that they say, yes, based on this research, masculine means this. Like, there actually has to be backing to what you're saying that is empirical, like evidence that you cannot argue with.
I mean, not necessarily, because let's say, for example, if I ask you, if I say, hey, do you think women like to get their body parts touched in public by strangers? Right? I'm sure you would say, hell no. But where's the research? You see what I'm saying? Like, some things are just common sense.
There would be research.
There actually is research about consent.
Right. And so what I'm saying is that I'm sure there's research. And what I'm saying is I'm sure there's research on what you're saying. What I'm saying, I just don't know where it is. You can look it up. I haven't looked it up.
Well, I guess.
And see, this is the problem with people when it comes to book smarts. Usually people who have these book smarts or like to research and look up shit is that what they're really doing is just looking at what somebody else wrote. Do you understand what I'm saying? So let's say, for example, I didn't know math. And I met a guy, let's say I met a person, and we became cool, we became friends, and he taught me 2 + 2 is 4. Right? And so I said, oh, cool. What does that mean? He's like, yeah, 2 + 2 is 4. You have this right here and this right here. That's going to equal to 4. And I'm like, oh, cool. So that means that the reason why I know 2 + 2 is 4 is because I've experienced in actual life 2 + 2 equaling 4. Now, if somebody says, Locario, well, you just said 2 + 2 is 4. Is that documented somewhere? Is there research on that? I don't know. Maybe there might be a math book that says 2 + 2 is 4, right? So just because I don't have the research in front of me that says 2 + 2 is 4, doesn't make 2 + 2 is 4 wrong. See, I just learned this in real life. I didn't have to read a book. You see what I'm saying? This is the shit that people don't understand. See, a lot of people with book smarts need the book to tell them about life when the person who doesn't has life to tell them about life. So how are you asking a masculine man about, well, where do you understand about this masculinity? Where's the documents? I'm the document. I'm the experience. What are we talking about here? But see, the only reason they said that is because, see, what she's trying to do is she's trying to discredit what I'm saying. You understand? So that's the goofy shit about it. But you know, it is what it is. But let me see. So now what I'm gonna do is because I'm gonna skip around because I don't want to play the whole thing. So I want you guys to just go there so that you can listen to it yourself. So let me skip to the 30-minute mark. Let me skip to the 30-minute mark. Hold on. Let me skip to the 30-minute mark and see what we're talking about here.
Where versus like, I want someone who is ambitious. So I think like, would you dump someone straight away if they didn't want to go hiking with you, even though you loved, I understand that.
You agree on everything else but the hiking. Like, where's your hill that you're going to die on?
Right.
Top of the hiking track.
Right.
Then.
So what I'm saying is what I, right. So that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is what I want is what I want, period. And so if this woman that I'm with is not willing to give me what I want, then we shouldn't be together. Right. And so what I'm saying is that I'm removing myself from the situation because I know I can get exactly what I want. And in fact, I want her to get exactly what she wants, which is why I'm dismissing her, because I wouldn't want to be with a woman when we are on two different pages. And so what I'm saying is a lot of times what happens in relationships long term is it doesn't work out because you have two people who want different things. And it could be as simple as that. It could be something as simple as, well, I like to hike, you like to skydive, and that's something extremely important to me. It could be anything else. It could be something of a philosophy. It could be something of a way of life. But there's something that I want that she also does that she doesn't. And if that's the case, then we don't need to be together, and we should find the people who connect and fit. And so the problem is that so many people are trying to make things fit that don't. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And then so either one person is compromising and the other person's doing what they're doing, right? Or they're both trying to compromise to please each other and they're not being themselves. So what I teach people is fully be yourself and find the people who are going to be in the same direction as you. That's all it is. It's really simple.
Like, with all due respect, that's a pretty distorted view of what agency is like. Like, to be very honest with you, like that is, you know, freedom of choice does not come from I choose to be dominated. Like, that is
what? Coach Justin is about to lose his mind hearing this stuff. She's saying that the woman doesn't have a choice to say, I choose to be dominated. What? Do you know that there are women who will tell it? Listen. There's women that I've been with, right? And April, cover your ears. There's women that I've been with that, you know, they'll tell you to call them certain names in bed and shit. You feel what I'm saying? There's women, you know, that actually like a lot of different shit. And that's just sexual. We're not even talking about other things. So are they trying to say, because she's like, oh, well, she has no agency. And we're going to get to that agency stuff in a second. So she's saying that, well, these women, you know, they don't have a choice to choose that. It's just being thrust upon them. This is crazy. Well, let's continue.
That is just not, that is you're using arguments that are like people talk about, like how to find compatibility, which is great. But when you take that to the essence of, if you are not submitting to this man, you either are not with him or he can get with somebody else. I think it's quite a dangerous rhetoric, because what you're doing is there are going to be so many of these men out there taking after your paradigm, and what they're going to be doing is trying to look for this woman who ultimately is going to get controlled by the man, even if she says yes at the beginning. And there are women who are more suggestible than others, and they're going to potentially end up in an abusive situation. Maybe not for...
You know what's interesting? The way that she's describing this, she is describing this in a way where women are helpless, and if they choose to do something, it's at their detriment because they're so helpless. They don't have any agency. You feel what I'm saying? But it's this doom and gloom type of thought process. You understand? Like, it's like somebody saying, like, it's like, and you could do this with anything. You could do this with anything. Because basically all I'm saying is people should get with people who they're compatible with. And she's saying that's dangerous for a man to say, hey, listen, you're not doing what I like, so I'm going to move on to here. No, like I said, it's better for me to leave her and for her to leave me so we both can find people we're more compatible with. But see, what happens is women don't like and let me tell you what the truth is. A lot of women don't like the fact of a man who has standards and who's not afraid to walk away. That's really all it's about. Women do not like men who are not scared to walk away. Because what happens is that if a man is not scared to walk away, what that means is that women have to step their shit up. You understand what I'm saying? So she's like, oh, well, this is dangerous for a man to just walk away because this is coercive control. You know what I'm saying? Like she doesn't have any agency, but let's continue.
People like you, maybe not with your intentions, but it's pretty dangerous because there are men out there who actually can be quite sadistic and want to harm women.
Listen, but what does that have to do with a man walking away? In fact, the walking away means he's not going to harm her, right? If I'm teaching men, listen, if you're interested in a woman, but you guys are not compatible, she's not giving you what you want, then walk away and find somebody who will. So how does that make him dangerous when he's not even there? He's walking away. You understand? See, Ibra said dangerous because that means she has no control over the man. Exactly. Exactly. That's what it really boils down to, if you're going to be honest. You know what I'm saying? So she's like, well, there's guys that are dangerous and crazy. Yes, there are guys who are dangerous and crazy. Right? But if I'm telling men, listen, respect the fact that you and this woman are not compatible and walk away, because not walking away gives you a better opportunity to meet a woman you're more compatible with. And it also gives her a better opportunity to find a man she's compatible with. That's a win-win. That's a win-win. What are we talking about here? Well, let's continue.
So if they're following your type of thinking, they will be abusing women. They will be falling because
she said if they're following my type of thinking, they're going to be abusing women. How are you abusing women when you're walking away from women? How is that abuse? You understand what I'm saying? How is giving a woman freedom abuse? This shit don't make no sense. But let's continue.
Hey, it's a prey you're looking for.
A simple question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a simple question. How is there control if I'm telling them to leave?
Because there is a fear of not being with you.
Oh, you see? So because you have a fear of not being with me, that means I'm abusing you? So your fear is me abusing you. Interesting. So let's flip it. So when a guy is interested in a woman and she doesn't want to see him again for a second date, is that abuse? If a guy wants to have sex with a woman and she declines and he's like, he has a fear of not having sex. He's like, I want to have sex with her so bad. I'm so attracted to her. And she says no. Is that abuse? If a woman decides and changes her mind about communicating with a man who just got her number and tries to call her and she just doesn't want to talk to him, is that abuse? This is crazy. This is crazy. But let's continue.
So the coercive control comes to play when you say, well, if you won't do exactly what I say, then we are breaking up, that I'm taking away my love, my affection, my time from you.
And like I said before, nobody owes you anything. And guess what? When you're in a long-term relationship, and this is what I teach men, is that a woman has to be vetted for at least 12 to 18 months. So that 12 to 18 months is her consistently consenting for 12 to 18 months to your leadership. So what will happen is that in those situations, a man who's developed an emotional connection with this woman for this long, and she's been this consistent, usually is just not going to walk away. But what I'm saying is at the beginning of a relationship, at the beginning, first date, second date, we don't know each other like that. And I am a leader and I'm giving you instruction and you are not following the instruction. I am falling back. Right? And however you feel about me, I could have been the man of your dreams, but I'm falling back because you're not following my leadership. And if that makes you feel upset or angry and want to cry, tough. That's life. I'm sorry to tell you, you can't get everything you want. You understand? Well, I think you can get what you want if you work hard enough for it, but you're not going to get that guy. You understand what I'm saying? But let's continue.
Because you won't do what I say.
But I just met you like 2 days ago. What are you? This
so saying 2 days.
We just met. How? Where is all?
Oh, so she can actually have
yes,
an
I'm
opinion
saying like
later.
if I meet you,
but not at the beginning.
Right. So what I'm saying is if I meet you and we on a first date, second time we meet, and you're not following my lead, I'm going to leave. Like, so what I'm saying is that I'm telling her to go. So I'm not controlling her. Like I said, she doesn't have to follow my lead. As soon as she says, well, I don't want to wear that dress and I don't want to wear those shoes, that's cool. Well, you have a good life. I'm going to go over here. You go over there.
Totally, but it feels,
like, so where's the control?
It feels like a combing through women to find one that is quote unquote submissive, or I would read it as weak or traumatized enough to be okay with being.
See, she said it's like going through a bunch of girls to find ones that are weak or traumatized enough to follow your lead. You see how the following of the lead is connected to trauma, manipulation, all of this other crazy stuff. You see what I'm saying? But let's continue.
Led, like you're waiting for someone that will do what you say because they maybe are out of an abusive relationship or have had a lot of trauma, or like I've been in situations where I've been like, you know, controlled in that way. And when you come out of them, you are very vulnerable. And maybe you're looking for someone who is vulnerable enough to do.
See, you know what the problem is too? Is you have some people, and unfortunately, it's a lot of women who'll do this, right? Who won't take responsibility for their own thoughts, feelings, and the situations, right? See, I teach guys, don't worry about a woman being accountable, because as a man, you have to take control of your situation and circumstances. And if a woman is under your leadership, that means she is under your guidance, which means that is part of your situation. So you don't have to worry about her being accountable. But a single woman actually going through life, she has to be accountable for her feelings. You see what I'm saying? Well, let's continue.
Do what you say.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They're not being controlled.
Because it actually really.
What I'm saying is I'm giving them the. So let me ask you this. So you're trying to tell me that if a man meets a woman.
Do you mind if I say one thing though? Because it actually isn't about the hiking or the skydiving. It's actually about doing what you want. So if it was actually about the hiking, I understand what you're saying about like similar interests and hobbies and, you know, first date. If you fucking hate the outdoors and you love going camping, like I understand that. But what you keep coming back to is if she won't let me lead. So if it's actually about you telling her what to
Oh, and side note, a woman doesn't let you lead, but let's continue.
do and her submitting to that rather than about being the hiking of it. So it is about that. It's about submission.
Yeah, it's about cooperation. It's about
cooperation is not submission. Locario
is different.
They're not the same. They're actually the
cooperation
opposite.
is working with. That's cooperation. Your cooperation is working with, and you're still working with submission.
You can't cooperate to submit. That's an oxymoron.
Yes, you can.
She said cooperation is not submission. Cooperation is submission. Do you understand what I'm saying? Cooperation means working with. That means you're cooperating in the situation. So in the situation, I create a structure and then you're actually working with that structure. You understand? If I go to a job and I work at McDonald's, right? I'm cooperating with McDonald's. I'm submitting to the rules and guidelines of McDonald's. You see what I'm saying? It's like, yo, but let's continue.
Mission means that you're under a mission. So if I go to work at a job, I am submitting to that job and I'm working with that company. So I'm cooperating with that company to make money.
No, because there's
this way.
There's a value. There's a contract. There's a mutual benefit.
Yeah.
But when you are choosing to
she said there's mutual benefit in that job, which is to imply there is no mutual benefit in submission. Okay.
let go of your agency, to be frank, it's just like what Abbie said. It's usually would be women who have had abusive relationships.
And let me stop there for a second, because she keeps talking about agency. What is agency, guys? Let's look at the definition of agency. Let's look up agency. Okay. So hold on. Let me take this down for just a second, because I want to see this whole definition on my screen. Let me just take this down for 1 second, because I want to see this whole definition of agency. So it says agency is the sense of control that you feel in your life, your capacity to influence your own thoughts and behavior, and have faith in your ability to handle a wide range of tasks and situations. Your sense of agency helps you to be psychologically stable, yet flexible in the face of conflict or change. Interesting. Oh, let me bring the video back up real quick. That's interesting. So basically what she's saying is, she's saying that women don't have agency. She's saying that women, right, don't, have a control in their life, that they don't have any capacity to influence their own thoughts and behaviors. And they don't have the ability to handle a wide range of tasks and situations. You see what I'm saying? See, what's ironic about that? You know what's ironic about that? Is that, see, I understand and know that women are very intelligent, right? Women, grown-ass women, are smart. They know what they're doing. Grown-ass women actually can think for themselves. Grown-ass women can critically think. Grown-ass women are mature, right? I know this. But isn't it ironic? The feminists are the ones that are saying the women are weak. Well, the women have no agency. The women can't think for themselves. And you guys are out there coercing them, and coercive control. And, she has no agency, and, she's going to be susceptible to the whims of your submission. Isn't it interesting that I am saying, listen, you are a grown ass woman. I'm giving you the freedom to choose. You understand? Like, it's interesting how when you approach a woman, she's smart enough to say no if she's not interested in giving you her number, right? If you ask a woman out on a date and she's not interested, she has the agency to say, I'm not interested, and not go on the date with you, right? So guys get rejected all the time. Why is that? Because women are smart enough to think for themselves and say, you know what? I'm not interested in this guy, so I'm going to reject this guy. So if women can reject men every day, how all of a sudden women don't have agency to actually think for themselves and make choices? Isn't that weird? You see what I'm saying? So it's this thing of doom and gloom, like, well, these women don't know what they're doing. And, if you tell them to do stuff, that's abusive, because, they're going to be scared that you're going to leave. And, like a woman needs to, know that, like, this is going to happen. And she doesn't really have, and the ironic part is that, they'll say me talking about being, masculine, assertive, letting a woman know what you want, and having her with her being an intelligent woman, with her being smart and mature to make a mature, conscious decision, right? It's weird that they're saying that I'm crazy, but they're the one implying that women have no agency, that women can't think for themselves. Because remember, let's look at the definition again. It's the definition again. the sense of control that you feel in your life, your capacity to influence your own thoughts and behaviors, and have faith in your ability to handle a wide range of tasks and situations. You understand what I'm saying? Your sense of agency helps you to be psychologically stable, yet flexible in the face of conflict or change. Interesting. So are you saying that these women don't have, they're not stable? They can't face conflict or change? They don't have their own thoughts or behaviors? Is that what we're saying about women? I'm just saying, I thought feminists were supposed to be pro-women. But why is this thing where now all of a sudden women have no agency? That's interesting. Very interesting. Very fucking interesting. I'm just saying, I'm just asking questions. I'm like, what's going on here? What's going on here? Right? So let me fast forward a little bit because we're about to wrap this part up and then we'll get some calls and shit. We fast forward a little bit to 44 timestamp. Hold on. Let me see what we're talking about here. Okay, let's go to here. All right, let's see.
What I'm saying is that when and I'm just using man and women just to make it simple. What I'm saying is that if a man is approaching a woman and talking to her and letting her know this is how his lifestyle is, she, as a grown woman, has a choice to say yes or no. What I'm saying is that there's this narrative that if she says yes and submits, right, she's submitting to him, that she has no agency and that she's being somehow manipulated and she has no control or whatever. What I'm saying is she has full control to say yes or no. Okay. So if she says yes, right, then she goes along. Now, also, I'll say this real quick, is that the way I teach men is I teach men to vet women and to see if this is the type of woman that he wants in a relationship. And I also tell women to do the same thing, right? I say, vet the guys you're dating. So what happens is that over a period of time, they get to see if they're actually compatible. So like what you're saying, Abbie, is yes, there's going to be a time where you might say, you know what, I don't like this, or I don't want to do that, and I'm not into this, or I don't want to, and this is where a lot of the conflicts could come in. Now, a lot of times what will happen is that if it's too much conflict, what that means is we are not compatible. And at that point, it's like, okay, cool. Well, it makes more sense for us to split apart and find someone we're more compatible with.
That we can control.
Well, my question is because
you see, they keep going back to the control. And notice throughout the entire interview, I've never said anything throughout this entire interview about controlling anyone. In fact, everything is the opposite of control. See, they think that because you have a standard, that's control because they may have a feeling towards you. You understand? So let's say, you meet a woman, y'all go on a date, and she likes you. She's like, tells those her girlfriends, oh my God, I met Locario. He's amazing. Oh, he's the best, blah, 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 blah. And then the next day I say, hey, let's go do this. Or the next week I say, let's go do this. And she's like, well, I don't really want to do that, but we could do this other thing. And I say, you know what? No, I want to do this today. And maybe later on down the line, we could do that thing you're saying. And then she says, well, I don't want to do that. And I'm like, all right, well, listen, I feel like we're on two different pages. You have a good day. Now, they would say, oh, well, you're coercive controlling her because you decided to leave and she really, really likes you. So now she's going to be sad and at home and eating ice cream because she really thought you were the one, Locario. You see what I'm saying? Oh my goodness. Ridiculous. But let's continue.
you were saying that people.
I've never said control not one time in this thing about what I do. And y'all are adding that. I just want to know for the record that y'all are adding control. I said nothing about control. In fact, I said freedom.
I have a genuine question. Okay, so you're saying that if a woman on the first date or second date is saying, I don't want to submit, are you advising men that you are coaching to say openly on the first date, listen, I want to make all the decisions and I have the final say in everything until the day we die if we are together?
You see what she said? She said, are you telling guys on the first date to tell a woman that I'm make all decisions until the day that we die together? Why would I say to the day we die, which implies that I think this is something long-term on the first date? Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying anything that implies this is something long-term because you have to earn long-term. And then I'm not saying to you, hey, you have to listen to me till the day I die. You have to listen to what I'm saying. Listen, I don't tell women to listen to what I'm saying. I tell women something and then I see if they listen to it. You see what I'm saying? Them listening to it is, guess what? Say it with me, their choice to listen to it. Why? Because they're grown women that have agency. They're smart, intelligent women who know how to think for themselves. Right? You see what I'm saying? So I don't need to be like, you know what? I'm going to, be the leader of everything until the day we don't listen. I may never see you after this date. You may never see me after this date. You understand? All I know is I told you to meet me at the Main Street bar, 8:00. You said, sounds great. I'll see you there at 8. And then you saw me there at 8 and we had whatever time we had, right? I don't need to sit there and be like, listen, I got to sit you down and I need to tell you that I'm a leader. And so now I need you to sign right here on the dotted line that says you consent to my leadership right now in this moment and forevermore. Like, what are we talking about? No, I tell you to meet me here. You meet me there. I led, you followed. Simple. So you've already shown me from this one little step that you are actually following my lead. Now, as time goes on, if we start to date, if we start to see each other more consistently, and then she says, Locario, where's this going and what does this mean? And I say, hey, listen, you know what? In order for a woman to be my girlfriend, this is what needs to go down. So what she's saying is, and that what she's talking about comes later. So before a woman becomes my girlfriend or my wife, right? Then we have a talk. But I'm not talking to you about, oh, well, this and this and that on the first time when I'm meeting you. No, all I need to see is, can you follow directions? That's the only thing. And if you're following the directions, that is you consenting to follow my leadership. Why? Because you're an intelligent woman who knows how to think for herself. It's that simple. It's that simple. Let's continue.
Are you giving them full informed consent in the relationship? Or is it small things like, well, if you don't want to go hiking, then we have to break up. Well, if you don't want to wear that, then we have to break up. Or is it you go, first date, just so you know, I'm looking for someone to submit to me and I want to be the decision maker?
Nobody is going on a date saying, I'm looking for someone to submit to me and I want to be, I don't have to tell you any of that. I don't have to, because see, if by me even saying that implies you're the woman I want to be with. You understand what I'm saying? And that's not even in my mind about wanting to be with you at all. You're just meeting me Friday for drinks. You see what I'm saying? We're just meeting. You might come to the date. We hang out. Let's say I met you off of Tinder. You come to the date. We hang out. We get drinks. I realize that, I don't like the way you look in person. You know what I'm saying? Your breath stinks. Like, I'm just not feeling you. And vice versa. You might not be feeling me. Right? So this is just the first date. Why would I be sitting there? Listen, I got to sit you down and tell you. that, this is how things are going to go with me because I need you to consent to my leadership. No, you've already consented by showing up. I led, you followed. It's done. You've already did it. You've already taken the first step. Now, if we're going to be in a long-term relationship, then yes, that's something we're going to discuss as to what it means to be in a long-term relationship with me. It's that simple. But let's continue.
Which one is it?
No, he doesn't have to say all of that. He just sees what the action is. For example,
no, see, this is
that's not
a controlling thing. You're saying if a woman, I agree with you.
This I'm trying to explain to you.
I know, but
no. This one.
No, but
you see how I'm trying to explain it, but they don't want to hear what I'm saying. Everything that I'm saying right now is literally what I'm trying to explain in this situation. You understand? Exactly, Coach. He said there are these women can't fathom that there are ladies in the world that don't want to make decisions. They want to relax. Exactly. Listen, let me tell you guys something. I told y'all I coach women. You know what? One of the biggest fucking complaints that I get from women is these guys aren't, aggressive enough. These guys aren't assertive enough. These guys don't know how to make plans. These guys don't know. Basically, these men don't know how to lead. You see what I'm saying? These men don't know how to lead. That's basically what they're saying. Now, let me fast forward to the last part of the clip that I want to show. And this part kind of rubbed me a little the wrong way because I felt like they cut out a part within this part. So let's play this part right here. Because I think this is the part where she was saying, your rhetoric is kind of dangerous because a man might do this and do that.
If you want to lead or not, you got to figure that out.
I'm tired. I think I want to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna go.
Oh my God, Miss Locario.
I think Abbie should lead.
I think Abbie should
lead. That's what I think.
I think I should lead as well. But apparently I won't want to fuck or I won't respect my partner. So it's kind of a catch-22. I'm kind of forced into either I submit or I don't respect my partner, which I don't think is. I think that's a fallacy.
But I think the most concerning thing for me is not actually your thoughts. I guess it's marrying those thoughts with individuals who mean harm. So you might not even know.
You might not mean harm, and yeah.
But if you come and empower a man in an already patriarchal society where already it's actually unequal in real life, and then you tell them hey, you need to find the woman and she needs to go with my way or the highway, then his way potentially might be I want to have sex with you even if you don't want to. That's the person who wants that. Or another person who's
right. But wouldn't that happen regardless? Even if
but you're empowering.
See, what she's saying is what I'm saying is empowering a fucking loser and a crazy guy to do his crazy shit. Right? So again, it's attaching something that has nothing to do with the topic to something else. It's like if I said, hey, you guys should buy a sports car, right? And then the person's like, well, no, I don't think it's good to tell people to buy sports cars because if you buy a sports car, then you might drive really fast and crash. And not only will you crash, you might run into a bunch of kids crossing the street. And then after you run over them, you're going to the guy's going to keep going and he's going to drive off of a cliff and hit. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? But let's continue because I want you guys to notice that. Let's continue.
Empowering that, or if that man comes to you and takes your course and sits with you, and they are in a way potentially women hating or not even that. They actually think that my way or the highway could be that I can slap her, or my way or the highway could be that I can have sex with her even if she doesn't want.
But see, that doesn't even make sense. She said, my way or the highway is he could slap her. My way or the highway literally means that it's my way, or the only other thing is the highway. So the highway means that you go, which means that you're not here to even slap. I don't want to slap you. I want you to go. See, it's like they don't even understand the concept of my way or the highway. It's you do this or I'm going to go. Not you do this and then I'm going to do this to you. No, you do this or I'm going to leave. You see what I'm saying? Like, what is going on? Let's continue.
Finances.
Or I can control the finances.
But then the thing is, right, but then by your logic, then we should get rid of knives and guns. Because
Yes, we should
if
get
a
rid of
person go into the
guns.
store and buy some knives, then
Mr. Locario, we're in
That's what-
Australia.
that's
We
what I'm
agree to
saying,
get
like-
rid of guns.
And Locario, like we've spoken for a while now.
See, and this is the part that I didn't like. Because what happens is that she said, this rhetoric you're saying is a thing that can empower the wrong person. Then I brought up, but by your logic, we should get rid of guns and knives. So I think where they're from, I think it's New Zealand or Australia, whatever. I think they banned guns or something like that. I don't know. But what I was saying with that point, which they cut off, right? They cut off my point, which is why I brought up the guns and knives. I basically said, by your logic, we should tell people to stop creating or making guns and knives, right? But what happens is that the knife and the gun isn't the problem, because a person who makes a knife sells a knife, and a knife can be used to cut food, or it could be used to stab someone. So it's your choice what you do with the knife, right? So what I'm basically saying is that it's not the information that's going to make a nigga do crazy shit. It's he's going to do crazy shit because he's a crazy motherfucker, which is why I said it doesn't matter, because it could be with anything. So you might as well say, well, we should ban all knives because people can get stabbed. No, but that's their choice to stab because they're that type of person. You can't blame the knife, right? A person may use a knife to cut butter. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not the thing, it's the person using the thing in a certain way. You see what I'm saying? But again, this is what happens when, you try to spin narratives. You understand what I'm saying? This is what happens. This is what happens. But yeah, but basically that's the, there's a little bit more in there, but you guys can, watch the joint on your own, if you want to hear some more of it and stuff like that. But let me pull up the phone lines real quick. So if you guys want to call up, the call-in number is 646-481-3901. 646-481-3901. Make sure you guys donate and, send your questions. You feel what I'm saying? This nigga said, drop the link. This nigga crazy. Call up, bro. Call up. Call up. I don't drop the link no more for niggas I don't know. So you got to call up. You understand what I'm saying? But let me see what some of these questions are saying. It says, when are you dropping the Vegas seminar on the Bad Boy membership? Soon. Oh, also, I want to tell you guys that we're going to have a Black Friday sale. So the Black Friday sale is you buy the Game Kings documentary and you'll get the New York seminar for free. But I'm going to let you guys know about that in a little while later. You'll see some commercials for it. So 203, what's popping? Who's this?
I got a problem. The membership, you need to change it because it's talking about coercion.
Hilarious.
This is Joe Blast, by the way.
Joe Blast, what's popping, my brother? What's going on with you, man?
Nothing, man. I'm sitting over here in rage listening to that bitch, man.
No, let's keep it nice, because I know I don't want them to be like, but listen, man, you got to understand that, and this is why I said the title is "Men Must Speak the Truth to Women at All Times," because what happens is that if you don't speak the truth, what's going to happen is a lot of the emotion about certain things is going to come out. And the truth is, like I said, I said earlier, which was in the podcast, which I wish they'd have kept in, is that nobody owes you anything. You understand what I'm saying? Like, nobody owes you anything. And if anybody, and if a person wants to say somebody owes them something, I think the only thing people owe people is the truth. To be honest, that's what I think. Right. I think people owe people the truth. But besides that, no, because you want people to basically, like they're saying, consent to something that is real, right? And so what happens is that if a person says, hey, this is what I'm about, cool. Then you go along with that. That's why I said if a person's trying to be manipulative and say, hey, baby, I want you, I love you, I only want to be with you, but he knows he just wants to fuck, that's manipulative, right? But if a nigga's on a first date, I don't gotta fucking go all out and do this grand gesture. We don't even know if we like each other yet. Let's get to that point and then we go further into the shit. Do you see what I'm saying? But that's the thing they don't understand.
Right. It's like Boss Mac says, never be afraid or always be prepared to tell a bitch the real shit at all times.
Right. That's a fact.
And yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, man. I'm not trying to come at them ladies, but they were trying to come at you hard.
Oh no, I know,
man.
but
I don't. You know, I don't like that.
Right,
shit.
right. No, but
It's
see, it's expected though. I understand it because that's see what I found interesting is that see when you're real, you don't have to create a narrative to make yourself look better. You understand? You just stand on what it is. That's what masculinity is actually, is standing on what you say and what you do. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Then you have, I'm looking at some of the comments. You got somebody up there talking about, well, Locario, he seemed like he wasn't prepared for what they were throwing at him. When you clearly stated in the beginning that you do not go at people full force on their platform.
Right. And also I was prepared for everything. If you're listening to what I'm saying in the joint, they're asking me this and I'm telling them what it is. But see, what happens is that when you edit things a certain way to look a certain way, then of course you're going to perceive it that way if you're not intelligent. You see what I'm saying? But like I said, what's interesting is painting the narrative, which I think is fucked up, to suggest that women don't have agency and a man is manipulating her by stating his standards. That's crazy to me.
Right.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, and then with them trying to over and over again use that word coercion,
right.
All I could hear was ARC in the background because he was dead against any type of coercion or anything with a woman.
Exactly.
And they just kept trying to push that narrative. Like the rest of us are stupid over here.
Right.
They're just not used to a possibility of a man not standing there and taking what they trying to throw at.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's the fear of a man walking away. Because she even said it in it. Right. She's like, oh, well, we fear that we can't have you. You might not have me. You might not have the guy. That's why at the beginning I asked her, I said, listen, do you want a man to follow or do you want a man that follows you? That's a very important question to ask yourself and understand, because in order for you to get what you want, right, you have to understand what you want in order to get it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, we're not the same, but you know, women that do that all the time. Say a woman loves to have her pussy ate, and the dude like, nah, I'm not going to do it. Then she going to be out.
Right, exactly. Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. A chick might say, oh, well, I don't like the fact that he's not taking me out anymore. She's gone. I don't like I had sex with him. The dick was trash. She's gone. Oh, well, you know, he don't have enough money. She's gone. Right? Like chicks leave all the time. You see what I'm saying? Like, what is this going on? This is crazy.
And nobody calls that coercion. So what are you talking about? The ladies is wild, man.
Right. It's crazy, but you know, it is what it is. But hey, it's good. It's good dialogue for people to go back and forth with and just see, because I want you guys to see, you know, the thought process of some people. And this is why you have to stay on your square and be about what you're about, because what will happen is if you doubt yourself and you're not on your square, what's going to happen is people can infiltrate your mind. And then that's when you'll actually be susceptible to the bullshit. Because see, I don't believe women are stupid. I believe women are very intelligent. I believe women are very good at critical thinking, all that shit. So to suggest that women don't have agency and a dude telling them, hey, I want this to happen, and that she can't actually, as a grown woman, make a decision is insane to me. That's insane.
Right. Yeah, man, I totally agree with you. And I understand you say it's good for dialogue and all that. Man, for me, fuck all that. As soon as I heard the first statement come out of her mouth, I like, man, if this wasn't the Locario show, I'd have changed the channel. But I knew you was gonna break it down and let us all see, because you have a level of patience just like a damn sage, as they call it. Because I know me, I don't have that patience yet. I'm working on it, but I don't have it yet. But yeah, man, I just want to give you your respect, man, because I'm sure I can speak for quite a few of the people in the panel that are on in the chat room that, you helping us like you wouldn't believe, bro.
Yes, sir.
So,
appreciate it, brother.
Respect to you. Much appreciated. You and April have a good Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, have a good Thanksgiving too.
Thank you. Joe Blast is out.
That's what's up. Appreciate it. All right, so we got the calls coming in. Let's go to 609. 609. What's popping? Who this? Make sure you guys donating too.
Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, it's Rudy. I donated to your cash app.
All right, that's what's up. So what's going on with you, man?
Yeah. So before I ask my question, first things first, man, shout out to those ladies for providing a very, very teachable moment. Like, I ain't gonna like that. That is a very, very teachable moment for a lot of guys to just get you into the female mind and how she really thinks and stuff.
Right.
So anyway, right? So my question is, Locario, right? You always say like you always say that when you out here in the game, don't really like be outcome dependent, right?
Right.
And I totally agree with that, right? And you always talk about letting your ego go, right? My question to you is, what is like the best way or best strategy to like let your ego go? You feel me? Like to want what you want, like to focus, like what is the best way to focus on you want, but at the same time not caring if you don't get what you want is what I'm asking.
Right. So the thing is this is one of these things where you have to be able to focus on getting what you want, but also be detached from the outcome at the same time. So what that means is that a lot of people make their happiness depend on getting a certain thing. So they're like, well, I'll be happy once I get this, right? And so what happens is that you need to be able to enjoy what you have or enjoy what you get on a non-needy basis. So what that means is that let's say you're at a level 10 when you don't have what you want. Then when you do get what you want, you still should be at a level 10. And when that thing goes away, you should be at a level 10. You see what I'm saying? Right. So the thing doesn't make a difference. You just enjoy it as it is. You see what I'm saying? So you're not looking for it to make you happy, and and it doesn't make you sad when it's gone. You see what I'm saying? It's because you within yourself just enjoy yourself regardless of the circumstance or situation. You see what I'm saying?
Nah, that is some real shit. Cause as you talk about that, I realized that, right? Like at the beginning when I first started watching you, I was never really getting shit pop off, right? So when I got into the game, I was enjoying it because I was happy to just be in the game, right? And then what ended up happening, right? After listening to you a long time, being on the Bad Boy membership, I finally started getting shit popping on a more consistent basis. And what started happening is I started making my focus so much on that because I was finally excited that I knew what it was like to, you feel me? Fuck bitches, pull them, get girls who are cooperative and shit. But while I was doing all that, I was losing myself and forgetting about what else I enjoy in my life besides getting pussy. So you're right. That does make sense.
Right. So yeah, so that's it. Just make sure just enjoy yourself, enjoy the moments, and let the moments pass. You feel what I'm saying? And then enjoy the next moment that comes along. That's all you got to do. You see what I'm saying?
What I say is basically just look at it as you're just playing a video game. Really.
Right.
You're just playing. It's like you play basketball. That's
exactly right.
Right.
It's like watching a movie. You watch the movie, you enjoy the movie's over. You know what I'm saying? And then you move on to the next movie. You don't sit there and cry because the movie's over. You just enjoyed the time, and then you can move on to another movie or do something else. You see what I'm saying?
That's you might even miss the movie, be like, damn, I remember I watched that fire ass movie, but at the same time, you ain't gonna really cry that.
Exactly. And that's right.
So you're right.
Exactly.
All right, Locario, that does make sense. I'm gonna start looking at it from that angle. Good looking, man, because I watch the Bad Boy membership a lot. Love the membership, by the way. And I always hear you talk about let your ego go. Don't be outcome dependent. I just wanted to ask you what you meant by that.
Yes, sir. Yeah. We'll definitely do that. But I appreciate the call, my brother. I'm gonna holler at you. All right, so the calls are coming in crazy. So let's go to 732. 732, what's popping? Who this? And everyone else, stay on mute real quick. 732, what's going on? Who this?
Yo, what up? This is Leak, bro. Donated.
What up, my brother? What's going on, fam? So what's good with you? What's good with you?
Yo, so my question is, I don't know if you remember Locario, but there's like an interview you posted on YouTube like years ago of the radio station interviewing you about your how to have sex with two women a day book.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I remember that interview because that interview you just played, it reminded me of that interview because they were basically saying the same thing, how you were teaching basically predatory behavior.
Right. You know what? You know why that happens, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why that happens. See, the reason why, people challenge the game when it comes to this is because what happens is in mind you, listen, it'd be different if I was saying, hey, women should just stay in this situation and they can't leave, they can't go nowhere. I got to check their phone. I got to, you know what I'm saying? Like my whole philosophy is freedom. You feel what I'm saying? Right. And so what happened is there is no predatory thing because again, like I said, women are too far, they're far too intelligent for me to pretend that they're stupid. And that's the problem with a lot of people is that, see, and this is where the actual manipulation comes in. See, the manipulation is that sometimes what will happen is that people will try to paint women, men and women included, to paint women as helpless and weak. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And what I'm saying is I don't see women as helpless and weak. I see women as strong and intelligent. So when I speak to a strong and intelligent woman and I tell her, hey, this is what I want and this is what I'm about, I'm expecting her to make an intelligent grown woman decision whether or not to see me or to say no to me. Right. And so what happens is that what people like to do is as a manipulation tactic is to say, well, you're taking advantage of her. And so what happens is that if she feels upset that I walk away or it doesn't work out or I don't give her exactly what she wants, then they can say, well, I feel bad because it's your fault, Locario, or it's the man's fault for making me feel bad or making this choice. No, you made an informed decision. Now, are there times where guys will do something crazy or fucked up? Yes. Are there times where there's guys out there that are abusive and do some ridiculous shit? Absolutely. But what I teach is a man to be a man, to love himself and to treat women with respect. You see what I'm saying? Right. And in order for a man to treat women with respect, he has to first treat himself with respect. And how am I going to respect myself if I'm bending over backwards and changing who I am for the affection of a woman? Impossible. You see what I'm saying? It's crazy.
No, but like, is it more so like a feminist thing that happens? Because that interview that I mentioned, that was years ago. So like, and the same thing is happening today. So it's like, it's getting worse.
Oh yeah, no. And the thing is this, remember, people like to be in a safe space. And sometimes what happens is being in a safe space sometimes means to stay in a comfort zone that may not necessarily be serving you. You understand? Yeah. And so when you're in that situation, what happens is that even if it's not serving you, you're still going to go in that direction because it's comfortable, because it's familiar. So a lot of times what will happen is that even though, because for example, and I'm just using the example of Abbie and the thing, she's like, well, I don't have a boyfriend or man or whatever. So I'm like, okay, well, cool. Let's talk about this thing. But instead of listening to what I'm saying, because listen, I'm in a relationship. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm trying to tell you the things that help me, the things that help the women that I coach, and the things that help the men that I coach. Right. But what happens is that people don't want to have that open mind because they want to stay in that comfort zone they're in, because in order to grow, you're going to have growing pains, right? Because it's going to be painful in certain situations to grow because you're getting outside that comfort zone. You see what I'm saying? Because right now you're comfortable in a comfort zone, and in order to grow, right, that means you might have to do something that you've never done. You might have to have a different mindset than the mindset you have. You might have to look at things a different way or try new things. And for a lot of people, they don't want to do that. You see what I'm saying?
That's real talk, bro. That's kind of what I wanted to know, bro. I appreciate the call, man.
Yes, sir, bro. Appreciate the call, my brother. All right, so we're gonna go to 519 and then 929. 519, what's popping? And anonymous, call back because it's not making me merge after this. So 519, what's popping with you?
Yo, Locario, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's going on? Who's this?
Yo, my name is Wenz. I'm calling in from Toronto.
What's up?
And I've been following the game for a very long time, my brother. I just want to say I appreciate everything, man.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. Did you donate though?
Yeah. So I have a question about the donation. Is it $5 USD? Does it have to be USD? Because
yeah, as long as it's $5 USD, yeah, $5 or more. That's it.
Oh shit! I donated $5 CAD.
And how much is that in USD?
I don't know.
This nigga don't even know. All right, real quick. What's your question? What's your question? What's your question? And then go back and donate more. But what's your question?
All right. My question is it wrong for me to make the bitch pay for her shit on the date if I'm not feeling her?
You said, is it wrong for you to make her pay for her stuff if you're not feeling her? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so I went on a date with this chick, right? And, I was trying to, get sexual, trying to make shit happen. And I can see that she wasn't really feeling it. She kept on saying, oh, not right, not right. I could tell she wasn't feeling it. So I was ready to end the date. And I did that. And because this chick kept on ordering a bunch of shit, I'm like, nah, we'll split it.
So are you telling me if you liked her, you would have paid for everything?
Oh, no, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. That's just what happened.
No, but that's what you asked. You said if you don't like her, should you make her pay for her? Like, should you tell her to just pay for the shit? That's what you said, right?
No, let me reword my shit. Let me reword my shit right quick. So I want to know, is it wrong to make, if you invite a woman out for a date, let's say to go have drinks, okay? We want to get drinks, okay? Is it wrong for me to split the bill? Or because I've heard that, oh, you invite a chick out, it's on you, you have to pay, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying?
No, this is the thing. What I would say is a better course of action is when you make the date, tell her you want to split the bill. You understand? So you say, hey, let's go out, get some drinks. I'll pay for the first round, you pay for the second round. You see what I'm saying? So let her prompt her to tell her this is what's going to go on for the evening. You see what I'm saying? And then have her respond to that. So she says, okay, yeah, sounds good. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, I see what you're saying. So if I just go up to a chick and say, I think you're attractive, we should meet for a drink, I'm the one paying because I'm inviting her out, right?
No, you can still tell her that you want her to pay. You just let her know before y'all go on the date. So what I'm saying is you could approach a girl, you say, hey, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. Y'all talking, you say, listen, we should get together sometime. I want to take you out Friday, 8:00 for drinks. I'm gonna get the first round, you get the second, or we'll split the bill and get to know each other. You see what I'm saying? That's what you say to her, and then have her say yes to that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yo, I've been on the Bad Boy membership for a whole year now, and I just want to say, bro, this shit is fire. I'm getting too much pussy.
That's what's up. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it, man.
Nah, this is overwhelming, bro. Like,
no, I'm glad you guys are making it happen, man. I'm glad you're making it happen, brother. I'm glad you're making it happen, man. But go ahead. What you gonna say?
No, this is about hollering at girls, man. Like, I must ask this. Like, is it wrong to holler at girls at my job?
I mean, you can. I'm just saying that it's not the best course of action. See, you can do whatever you want. What I'm saying is that if you holler at chicks at your job, right, you need to ask yourself, how much do you care about your job? Because that's, in a lot of cases, risky to holler at chicks at your job, because if shit don't go, in a certain way, that could be detrimental to your job. You see what I'm saying? So it just all depends on how much you care about your job. You feel what I'm saying?
But this question is kind of different for me because I'm a personal trainer, right? I work at a gym. So I'm talking about like the members, not my coworkers.
Oh, so these are just random people at the gym.
Yeah, these are like the people.
Okay, so then that's different. That's not your job though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought you meant like a job where you see the same people every day. You're working in a cubicle, like you're working for this company. You're just freelancing, like you're doing your own shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just I can't help it, bro. I got I'm addicted. Like I can't help it. I feel like I have some sort of superpower, bro. And I want and I want all of them.
Hey, listen, that's the game flowing through your bones, my brother. That's all it is, man. But I
love this shit.
But yeah, I appreciate the call, man. You know what I'm saying? Hit up that Cash App and put more of those Canadian dollars in there to make it $5. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm gonna holler at you, man.
$5 USD.
Yes, sir.
Donate $5 USD.
Yes, sir.
That's what you need to put. All right, because I thought it was $5. I didn't think it had to be like that currency.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, brother.
But thank you for taking the call.
Yes,
and
sir.
thank you for all the lives and all the shit you have done, Locario. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate the call, bro. All right, so we're gonna go. We're gonna go. Hold on. Is this? Okay, I think.
929.
Is it 929? 929. What's popping? Who this? An anonymous. Call back after this. What's going on? Who's this?
Yeah, what's going on? It's Opulence. I donated on Cash App.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. So what's going on?
Yeah, it's first of all, before I even get into the questions, I just want to acknowledge the podcast that you was that you just before. It's it's real interesting. I always tune in to like just learn. I just want to learn what's going on out here and improve on my intellect when it comes to relationships and everything. And it's funny that because you mentioned on the first caller was talking about how with women, they're quick to dismiss you, right? Like when they're not interested in something that you did or you're saying, or they're not feeling you, it's a quick, dismissal, right? They don't even think twice about it. But, when you were discussing it with them, that it's your way or the highway, which is basically the same thing.
Right.
They felt, it was a misogynistic, bad thing to do. It just reminds me of like the double standard that women get to enjoy, but also the negative conception, like the negative perception that most people have with that word submissive. Right. Because you were also showing that comment with that dude who said, actually it was the woman herself who said that, the natural submissiveness will come out when she acquiesces to the guy's leadership, when she wants to follow the man. And the guy who commented and was trying to say that submissiveness is not natural because why would a guy have to, force that onto a woman? And what's interesting about that is that I think that what it is that most people, especially mostly in the United States, is that there's a negative, like in their unconscious, like there's a negative connotation with that word submissiveness. It's like looked at as weak, right? Even I had a conversation with my sister recently, and we were talking about the girls that I deal with, and then once I used that word submissive, because I was telling her what I like, and once I used that word submissive, she like lost her mind. So it's real interesting how that word really is a negative.
Yeah, they're triggered by that shit. They get triggered by that. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact.
But now you stood your ground. I mean, you said what you had to say. It kind of reminded me of you on what was that? I think you were on Jubilee.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, I was looking at the comments from that, and it's crazy how the majority of people they took it negative what you were saying, and most of what you were saying made sense. So I was confused. I was like, wait, why do people? But like I said, it's the masses have that when it comes to a man being in a leadership role and being one who dictates things and makes things happen, and he believes in himself enough and loves himself enough to dismiss whoever doesn't align with that. It's looked at as
because you know what it is. This is the issue. I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is. You got to understand society. When you watch movies and TV shows and stuff like that, things that get into your subconscious, on a subconscious level, what you see, especially in the media, is the woman is, and this is the funny part that I noticed. The woman is, when you see shows, the woman is usually smarter than the guy, right? They just set it up that way. Oh, she's smarter. He's a bumbling idiot and all that other stuff, right? And I was talking to April about this the other day. We was watching this movie called Happy Endings on Netflix or whatever, and it's about this couple that wanted a threesome or whatever. But they showed a scene of the couple having sex, and And it was actually 2 different movies like that. But notice whenever you see a couple having sex in a movie, you ever notice they do that same trope of the guy's on top of the woman, he's humping and going crazy, and the woman looks like she's not enjoying it?
Right, like she's bored.
Yeah, she's bored, exactly. You see what I'm saying? So that gets in the subconscious of everyone. Like, oh, these guys, they just want to have sex. The woman has to suffer through the sex that she doesn't want to have, and so forth. You see what I'm saying? So that goes into the psyche of people in society. And so what happens is that when you're a man who understands what he's about, right? You're fighting with the subconscious programming that the media and all these things have done in society that's telling people, well, listen, women are the ones who are running it and a guy has to follow her. This is why you'll see guys that'll say, oh, I had to sleep on a couch last night. I was in the doghouse. My wife, blah, 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 blah. So the woman is running the situation. Now, the only time, and not the only time, but most of the time I would say, when a guy is getting a woman to do what he wants, when you see it in the media, is the guy forcing the woman. You see what I'm saying? So it's a thing where it's like, oh, well, you must be an asshole if a woman is deciding to do what you want to do. You see what I'm saying? Right. You got to be an asshole, because why would a woman want to do what a man wants to do when the man is always doing what the woman wants to do? You see what I'm saying? And so that's what happens, where you get conditioned to think that, oh, well, if that's why even in the interview, it's like, oh, well, you're being abusive and manipulative and you're trying to control, because God forbid a woman actually just wants to follow a man's lead. He has to be controlling. He has to be manipulating in order for a woman to want to follow him. You see how that works?
Right. Yeah.
Crazy.
But then that's when the question comes to mind. The people in power, the people who are actually producing these movies and making these images and everything in the media, from the movies, the bulletin boards, like everything down to the magazines, the people who are in control of this stuff, why do they want to spread that? Like, what's the purpose of spreading that message? Because growing up, like, thank God I grew up with a father who was strong, and I seen the leadership in him. I didn't have able to see it firsthand that a man is supposed to be in the lead, right? A man, his word is fine. So growing up watching television shows or even movies where the woman was in control, or the guy was a nerd who was a loser who was always chasing after her, and seeing her do that he wanted to do with her, she was doing it with another man. It made me, first of all, I didn't believe in it because I knew it was bullshit. And I seen firsthand it was bullshit because of my own personal experience with my parents.
Right.
But why think in the media that's something that they want to perpetuate and put into the minds of people?
Yeah, I think part of it, just has to be where, it's something that, because you got to understand, like, masculine energy is usually just very black and white. It's like either we doing this or we doing that. You know what I'm saying? Feminine energy is a little bit more flexible, and men and women both have masculine and feminine energy within them. But what happens is that, see, think about it this way. If I run the world, and I'm the people who run the world, right? And I want to control a lot of shit. Wouldn't it make more sense to have the groups of people who's basically the leaders, or who should be the leaders, have them not leading, so that now everybody is more under this control of me? You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to have more influence over all of y'all versus the woman being influenced by her man. You see what I'm saying? So that's what happens a lot of times in these situations. You see what I'm saying? That's the crazy part.
Probably more profitable too for them.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let me get into my questions. I don't want to take too much of your time. So I have this girl I'm texting right now. I'm in the cold. We're in the cold months right now. It's in New York. Usually during the summer, I would direct women to come from I'll get them from dating apps, or I'll go into clubs or whatever, and I'll have them meet me at a local maybe bar, or I'll get ice cream with them. But during these colder months, I like to skip that step and get straight into pull up to my spot.
Right.
So there's a message that this girl sent me 2 days ago. And I want to read it out. I just want to hear how you would respond to it, because like I said, I'm still learning how to kind of, I guess you could say, improve my gaming, improve my thinking when it comes to this. So she said, so I told her that I asked her what nights was she free this week, right?
Right.
And she responded like, "Oh, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really too comfortable with the idea of going to someone's house on the first date, just because I don't want it to lead to something intimate, nor let you have an idea or expectation of it, especially if I don't know you that well. I'm very protective of my body and health."
Right. Right.
I mean, personally, I can understand where she's coming from, but I'm not, during the colder months, I hate going out, like do anything really. Like I still go out and do things that are essential and that I need, but I don't like to, go on first dates where I'm outside and whatever. I'd rather the girl just come straight to my spot. So in this situation, since this is not what I want, should I just charge it to the game and just like ignore it, or should I like meet her in the middle and see where I can go from there?
Right. So you don't meet her in the middle. I would say this: you can charge it to the game and just keep it moving, right? But what you can do is this, and this is something I was going to actually say for the membership, but I'll give you guys this shit free. So this is what usually happen in these situations, right? So the usual thing what you can do is, you still want to deal with her, you say, okay, cool, I respect everything you're saying, but this is what I want to do. So you have my number, save my number, think it over, and when you're ready to come over, when you're more comfortable to come over, then we'll set a date for you to come over. Right now, that's the first thing you say. Now, this is what might happen when you say that, right? So what will happen a lot of times, sometimes when you say that, is the girl will basically say, well, we should go out more and get to know each other more and all that other shit. Right. So now if you still want to deal with her, right? If you still want to deal with her, because remember, you can charge this in the game at any time. If you still want to deal with her, and I've done this plenty of times, where the girl will say, oh, but I feel like I don't want to go to your house this quick, and I feel like we need to get to know each other more and just like, hang out and do this and do that. And I say, okay, cool. Well, listen, this is what we could do. Since you're interested in getting to know me and spend more time with me, find a place, find a restaurant, nice restaurant, that you would like to take me. Let me know where it's at, and the dinner is on you. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, we can get together and hang out, but you're taking me to dinner and you're paying for it, because I told you what I wanted to do. I want you to come to the crib. Right. So if you don't want to come to the crib, that's fine. We can still get to know each other more on that shit, but it's going to be on your dime. So, because I'm not going to spend my dime for you to get ready to do what I'm trying to do. You see what I'm saying? Right. And so what'll happen is, because I've had women who they was like cool, and then they took me out to fucking dinner. You see what I'm saying? And then so from that point, the situation is still what I was talking about. The situation is still, hey, listen, we're gonna come over my place and make this happen. And sometimes it'll happen, sometimes it won't. And then if it doesn't, I charge to the game. If it does, we end up making shit happen. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'll take that advice.
Right.
And then for my last question,
wait, hold on one second. Anonymous, I see that you keep calling in. I can't merge the call for the person that keeps calling in that's anonymous. So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to wait until I get off the phone with this caller and the next caller, or you got to call me from a numbered number, because anonymous calls don't come in. It doesn't merge. So either you're gonna have to wait till these calls are done, or you're gonna have to call in so I can put you on hold with a regular number. But go ahead, caller.
Yeah. So this question is slightly an extension of the previous question, but it's different. Can you briefly go over why it's important? Because you actually just mentioned it, and it's funny, I have it here to ask you. Can you briefly go over why it's important to have like a black and white mindset in the game? And I'm asking this because I personally run a business, right? And in my business, I don't adopt black and white thinking. Sometimes situations where I'll have a client who wants me to meet them somewhere where it's closer for them or more convenient for them.
Right.
And I would acquiesce to that, and I will make the sale, right? I'll make the thing happen.
Right.
And we will both go home. Versus me telling them, listen, this is the only place you can get this at, or you can only do this. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's either this or that. So I'm asking this question because in the dating game, I kind of look at it like business too, because it's leads, right? It's like you gain attraction and then you direct them to what you want them to do, right? So in the dating game, why is it important to have black and white thinking with that? And because me relating it to business makes me think that I should have a more flexible mentality when it comes to dealing with women. But why is it important to not? Because I know that that's what you preach.
Well, the thing is what happens is it's a thing of value and standards, right? So what happens is just like I was even talking about with just earlier when you were saying, you know, like what should I respond to this girl with? Where I said, okay, cool, you know, I want you to come through to the crib, but if you're not doing it, cool. But when you're ready, this is what you can do. And then if she's like, but I want to see you and we should hang out. Okay, cool. If you want to hang out on your dime, that's great. You understand? Because we're still keeping it to, if that's what you want to do, I'm telling you, this is what needs to happen, which is you got to take it on my dime, on your dime. And if you don't want to do that, then the other option is you come to my crib, right? So those are the choices. But I'm giving you those choices based on how I run things. Now, what happens is the reason why I said it's about a value and standard. It's because what happens is that when you have the black and white thinking, what you do is that you keep something up to a certain standard. So like, for example, I remember I went to this restaurant. I can't remember which one it was specifically, but I go to the restaurant and they say, you have to take off your hat to eat here. And now, you know me, I love wearing my hats and shit, right? So I wanted to eat there. So what did I do? I took my hat off. You understand what I'm saying? So they're not going to say, well, sir, it's okay, you can leave your hat on. You can just, no. They have a certain standard and a certain look they want in their restaurant. So they're willing to lose me as a customer to keep up the standard. You see what I'm saying? So, and that, so you got to be able to do that and be brave enough to do that. Cause I even do that in my business. Like I have people that hit me up, they be like, Locario, I know your coaching costs this, but could you do, a little bit of, no. This is what it costs. You understand what I'm saying? So you either do that or you just can't get coaching. You understand? Come back when you got the money.
Okay. So you're basically, I mean, okay. All right. I agree with that. It's just that, when, like I said previously, I was like, sometimes I would meet the customer halfway and I would still win. So, that's what's the confusion there. Cause it's like, man, sometimes I would acquiesce to what somebody else is saying and then, find the middle ground and we'll come to
you can still get it. I'm not saying you still can't make it happen. I'm just saying that now it's at a different standard. You see what I'm saying? Because now what's going to happen is that same customer might come back and want that same price or lower. Cause now he's like, oh, he's going to lower the price. Cool. Or he's going to do this. Cool. I can probably get it again. Or what's going to happen is that because you now are doing that, you're willing to do that with another customer and another customer. So now, not only you do it with this customer, you're doing it all of these customers, which is going to affect your bottom line. You see what I'm saying?
Right. So just be brave enough to keep your standard at that level,
right?
No matter the sense of like even losing them as a even if it's client or even.
Exactly. That's basically where you gotta be able to be brave enough to do that shit. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay. All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, brother. Appreciate the call, man. All right, so 832, an anonymous, call right after this, because I see you trying to call like a million times. 832, what's popping? Who this?
Chillin'. This is Jay calling in from Texas, donated to Miles.
All right, that's what's up. What's going on with you? What's up?
Oh, chillin', man. I thought the situation with the interview with the people on their podcast was funny, man. It's really interesting that sometimes people have the idea of submissiveness, meaning whatever they want to mean. It's time to make people feel.
Where you at? Are you, hold on, you in a car or something? Because your voice is like crazy. Are you on a speaker? Like, what's going on?
I'm driving right now.
Because I can't hardly hear you. You sound like you in a windstorm or some shit.
How about now?
A little bit. Okay, go ahead. What are you saying?
Okay. No, I was just pretty much saying, like, it's crazy that, with the caller, she was just pretty much making it seem like submission is a bad thing. And it's just crazy that, you know, even with the word game, a lot of times I'll be talking to people, and when they hear the word game, they I guess they feel like it's something negative or something bad or some type of trickery. And
right,
I just was listening to the conversation like, damn, man, she really thinks that's what it is. But who knows? Maybe some guy or maybe some people are telling them that submission is like the wrong thing to do. But a question I wanted to ask you and kind of get your perspective on, why do you feel like when people gain confidence or praise to people that they kind of get big-headed, and then when you kind of like turn them down a little bit, then move back in line? Like, huh?
Now go ahead. What are you saying?
Yeah, like, why do you think people get big-headed and get gassed off of praise and confidence and approval, and then once you kind of like tone it down, then they want to get back in line and get back in order? Like, why do you think people are like that when it comes to praise and then not getting the right praise, and now they want to get back in line and get back on track? Like, why do you think people like that, Locario?
What do you mean by like getting back on track? What do you mean?
Like, for example, like I was dealing with a girl, right? And I don't mind telling her, hey, you're doing a good job with this, you know what I'm saying? I like how you do this, yada, yada, yada. And then she started kind of like feeling herself a certain type of way. And then I noticed it, and I said, you know what? Okay, cool, it's no problem. And then I started noticing that she started getting a little beside herself. And I said, hey, you know you ain't used to feel good about this until I told you that, right? And then once I told her that, and then I started noticing that she started being like a little more quote-unquote submissive and started being more friendlier. And I'm like, damn, like, why do I gotta like build you up? And then when I build you up, you start, thinking that you can jump out of building now, and then you start kind of bucking at me a little bit. It's like, it's kind of funny. And then I gotta come at you a certain way to kind of like, I guess, not pop your bubble,
right,
but bring you back to reality. Like, I guess women being delusional a little bit or fantasy,
right,
and I gotta like pop them.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah. So I mean, basically, what it is in those situations, a person, it's when they're in their ego and then they feel good about yourself. They feel good about themselves based on your validation. And then so what happens is based on your validation, that's when they get that high of, confidence. But it's not really confidence. It's more like pseudo confidence. They start to feel themselves. You feel what I'm saying? So that happens sometimes where you're dealing with a person who's extremely insecure and looking for validation. You see what I'm saying? Because then what happens is when they get the validation from you, they start getting comfortable. And then when they get comfortable, then they start, being on some, it's a little bit more like that comfortability gives them that arrogance. But it's not real confidence because they're gonna need their validation fix at some point anyway. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Okay. I appreciate that, man. That was real. I appreciate it, man. Keep doing your thing, Locario.
Yes, sir. I appreciate the call, my brother. All right. Let's go to 202. No, yeah, 202 then 803. 202. What's popping?
This is Johnny from DC. It's been a couple of days. I donated.
All right. That's what's up. Appreciate it. So what's going on? What's going on, fam?
I was gonna say, everything's good. Happy Thanksgiving. I was about to say, when you had that little debate thing, with that podcast, something like I remember they mentioned like, well, what if you want to go hiking and then the girl doesn't like being outdoors? I was thinking maybe you mentioned like, well, it's really up to the man if it's up to him, but it's like if he doesn't mind if his girl doesn't want to go outdoors, then it's not an issue. Like she was saying, well, if the girl doesn't want to go hiking with the guy, that's going to break up. Like she's trying to say, oh, that's too strict or something like that. But if he doesn't mind, then the relationship can still continue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It depends on what you actually want and what is important to you. So if it's something extremely important to you, that's a deal breaker. If it's not happening, then you shouldn't fuck with the person. You see what I'm saying? Now, if it's something that's a small thing that doesn't make a difference to you, then it don't make a difference. You see what I'm saying? But if I know this is something that makes a difference, then I'm not going to fuck with you no matter what it is. Like it could be something simple as like, listen, I like to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And if I'm with a woman, she gotta like those shits too, because I'm be eating that shit a lot, and I'm gonna have a bunch, and I'm gonna want to share it with the person I'm with. If that's important to me, if you don't like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, I ain't fucking with you. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's that simple.
Wait, so I was gonna say, like, is that basically the explanation? Because what if someone says, like, well, why is it like why? Why did they have to go with you hiking, or why they got to eat peanut butter and jelly? Is it because like in a relationship, all you're sharing is time and experiences? I remember you mentioned that. And as a guy, you're like, well, I want a girl to experience this with me. Like, that's the experience I want. Is that like the answer for that? If they say, well, why is it such a big deal?
Yeah,
like,
because remember when you see, especially you as a man, when you take a woman on, meaning that you say, I'm going to have you in my life, and eventually you might become my girlfriend or someone more significant. What happens is that I'm already doing what I'm doing with or without you. So basically what I'm doing is not going to change because of you. What happens is I'm just adding you to what I already have. So if you're not about what I'm about, then there's no reason for you to be here. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Be a reflection of yourself.
Exactly.
And then and then I actually have one more quick question. So man, I'm having trouble with this girlfriend thing, man. I have a situation, and I've been smashing this girl consistently for 3 months, and she popped the question. You know what I'm saying? Where is this going? You know what I'm saying? She want to be my thing and whatever. So I told her, I was like, we're going to, that could possibly happen in the future. And then I told her, like, what comes with being my girl, right? So this is what my question is, like, does she have to ask me again, like, where is this going, or can I be your girlfriend in order to eventually make her the girlfriend? Because, like, what if let's just say it's a 3 months, she just asked that, and what if she just doesn't ask again, but she's still consistent with everything?
Yeah, then
I remember you said that.
Yeah, and what'll happen is at that point, so this is what happens. When she first asks you or says to you, where's this going? I want to be your girl, right? You say, okay, cool. Well, listen, let's talk about some things. I don't make a woman my girl unless this, and this happens and occurs, which is the vetting process, right? So she knows at that point. So now what'll happen is that she'll be consistent with that if she wants that to happen. She may not necessarily need to mention it again, but she understands what it is at that point. Right. So let's say you say to her, listen, I don't make a woman my girl. So we've been together for at least a year and a half. And, she's been consistent with following my lead and doing this and doing that. And then she says, okay, cool. So then she's been consistent. She's been following your lead. She's been doing all the things you need her to do. And then at that point, you can say, hey, listen, I was thinking you should take it to the next level, take it to the next step. And then you just make it happen that way. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. I thought she had to ask again, like keep begging and
No. She don't got to ask again. She don't got to ask again. You can say to her, I want you to be my girl. She can still say no. She can say, I don't want to do that. But most likely she's going to say yes. If she's been sticking it with you for that long and she becomes more emotionally attached, then yeah, she's going to most likely say yeah.
Right. All right. Cool. All right. Yeah, that's all I have for today. Hey,
yes,
appreciate it. Appreciate Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir. Appreciate the call, brother. All right. 803. What's popping? Who this?
Hey, what's up, Mr. Locario? This is Ray. I'm from South Carolina.
What up? Did you donate?
Cash App.
All right. That's what's up. Appreciate it. So what's going on?
All right, man. My question is, okay, so I use dating apps and everything. And it's like, it's easy for me to get with girls on there. Like, it's because I do what you say, FaceTime them, what I'm saying, flirt with them and stuff. And it's easy to get them from there.
Right.
But when I see a female like in person, like I just bitch up, man. And I'm just trying to figure out like how should I go about changing that mindset to where I can just say fuck it and just, approach and say what I gotta say.
So you say you bitch up? What happens when you
like
bitch up?
I bitch up, like I see them, they walk by. I say nothing. Like, bitch up. Like,
wait, so how old are you?
Straight bitch assness.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
30. Okay. So do you actually go out to places to meet women?
No, I don't.
So you don't go to like bars clubs, events, and all that shit?
I just like y'all say, you see women everywhere. I don't really go out like that, but I see women everywhere. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not like, oh, I don't see any females. Females are everywhere that I see that I'm like, okay, so I like that right there. You feel me?
So there's a program on my site on MrLocario.com, and it's only $7. You should get it. It's called Master Approaching Women in 30 Days or Less. Get that program today. You feel what I'm saying?
So you think that's all I do?
Yes, that's why it's called Master Approaching Women in 30 Days or Less. You see what I'm saying? Like, because it's gonna teach you. He's gonna give you instructions and activities to do in order to approach women. You feel what I'm saying? But you got to do the shit that it says in the program. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what I would say is get that first, do the things, and then report back to me. You feel what I'm saying?
Gotcha. All right, man. I appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate the call, brother. All right. So anonymous, call back. I know there's an anonymous person. Nobody call unless the anonymous, except for the anonymous person. Anonymous, call back. Because you was calling like crazy. You know what I'm saying? So call back so we can get this shit cracking. But while Anonymous is calling back, let me see some of these questions and we're going to wrap it up and get up out of here. So this says, you're going to mainstream soon. I can already see this spreading like crazy. Where can we find the full podcast? So April put the links to the chat, links to the full podcast in the chat. I'm going to put it under this video after I finished filming this video. I should have put it up earlier, but I'm going to put it under this video so you guys can listen to the entire thing. All right. So this says, do you think people that do YouTube shouldn't mix with mainstream media, or am I being short-sighted? I feel they're never conducted either on goodwill. I think Andrew Tate opened the floodgates. Well, you just got to understand how mainstream media works. Because even this interview, we pre-recorded it, they edited it down, they could edit it however they want to make it look. You feel what I'm saying? Also, remember the shit listen, guys, this is what I'm gonna tell you. The stuff I teach you guys, most people, they don't understand this. They don't. You understand? Like I had a song on one of my mixtapes where the chorus says, "The masses are asses." You understand? Most people in mainstream society, or most people in society, are not that smart. They're not that smart. Like they're competent, but they're not that smart. You feel what I'm saying? Like they're smart enough to make regular decisions, whatever, but they're not that smart to, critically think too heavy. You feel what I'm saying? So it just is what it is. You feel what I mean? So let me see. When they ask for a source, use Carl Jung, a psychoanalyst who proves the existence of masculine and feminine polarity. You seemed unprepared for that debate and lost, even though you were right. Bruh, this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. It doesn't matter if you're saying, well, look at this guy, and it doesn't matter. See, this is what, let me explain something to you. I'm not going on the podcast to change their minds or to impress them or to impress their audience. I go on the podcast to speak the truth. This is why it's called Why Men Must Speak the Truth to Women at All Times. Like I said, I'm saying what needs to be said. You understand? And people hear it. That's what it's about. You understand what I'm saying? See, y'all niggas, y'all are so into this red pill shit and all this other nonsense. Y'all start thinking, well, where are the statistics and where is this and where's that? And it's like, bruh, you guys don't understand. Think about it this way, right? Like I said this before. If you give me a statistic that says 9 out of 10 guys have a hard time getting women, right? What does that have to do with you if you're the fucking 10th guy who's getting the women? Right? So what losers do is they look at statistics and they say, man, the statistics said only, like 9 out of 10 guys aren't going to get a woman. So why should I try to get a woman? That's what losers do. They look at stats, documents, data from places that actually a lot of times are skewed to fit a certain narrative. You see what I'm saying? And also what happens is this. Check this out. This is why I teach you guys about game. Me trying to look up the stat or say, oh, well, you should check out Carl Jung because blah, 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 blah. That would be me validating what she's saying. I hope that didn't fly over your head. Me falling into, well, yeah, I should go get a statistic because, she was saying that in order for things to be right, you got to have documents and statistics. No, I'm not following that paradigm. I'm not following that train of thought. So by me following that train of thought, what I'm basically saying is that I'm actually validating what she's saying. You understand what I'm saying? It says studies and research can be weaponized to fit narratives. Exactly. Because I remember I saw something. Let me see if I can find this again. Hold on. What percentage of... Hold on. Okay. So I looked up what percentage of stats are false. Right? I looked up what percentage of stats are false. And it says 73.6% of all statistics are made up. It says 73.6% of statistics are made up. Now, this is what's called a double bind. Because if this is true, right, that means that statistics are bullshit. But if this stat isn't true, that also means statistics are bullshit. You see how that works? It says 73.6% of stats are made up. So if that's true, then that means that the statistics you're telling me is bullshit. But if that stat of 73.6% of stats being made up is bullshit, that still means that statistics is bullshit. That's what's called a double bind, people. That means no matter which way you go, you lose. You see what I'm saying? Crazy, man. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Oh, the game is undefeated. Jesus Christ. Oh my goodness. So he says, so if a 9 has ton options and men that don't act like it's my way or the highway won't, the 9 take the path of least resistance and say, screw the bossy guy. She just met hot women will say, I guess I'm not actually, I don't know what he said in that one. So in the app, I told a girl, let's meet for drinks. And she said, wow, I never had a guy invite me for a date before. I usually go straight to their house. What is she trying to say by that? Was she trying to say that a lot of just tell her to come through and you telling her to go get a drink so she doesn't go on a bunch of dates? She's like, he said, what was this mental abuse thing the chicks talked about in the podcast? The crazy word you also didn't know. Oh, the coercive, what is it? Coercive control? Yeah, that shit. This says, I met this chick online. We met and had sex. I wore a condom during sex. She yelled out, oh yes, put a baby in me. She later said it was part of her dirty talk. Is that a red flag? No, I mean, some chicks like to talk dirty. You feel what I'm saying? Now, if you're into that, then go ahead. If not, then, keep it pushing. It is what it is, my guy. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, I wanted Anonymous to call back because Anonymous called like a million times, but I couldn't merge the call. So Anonymous, I'm giving you 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes to call back whoever Anonymous was. I'm giving you 2 more minutes, and then we about to wrap this shit the fuck up. We're about to wrap this shit the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that you guys go to badboymembership.com. Make sure you guys go to masculineidentitymembership.com. Make sure that you guys keep a lookout for the Black Friday sale, which is going to be coming up soon. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure that you guys check out the podcast too. You feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave a link below this video. After it's done, I'm gonna put the link there so you guys can refresh the page and check out the podcast and everything like that. And again, shout out to Abbie and Lem and the people who had me on the podcast. I appreciate y'all having me on. And this is good dialogue for people to have. You know, even though you have different opinions or different takes, different perspectives, it is what it is. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. So I'm about to get up out of here and I will holler at y'all later. All right. So guys, remember the truth is inside you. Peace. I'm gone. I'm out. Later.
Shit's crazy cause I look at you different. You were saying I did shit that I didn't. Trying to keep it going, you kept resisting. So I kept it moving, I kept my distance. Kept it real, you said that I kept insisting. So listen. There's a thin line between pain and pleasure. They came to stress it, I came to stretch it. My aims to get it, to drain all these lanes for cheddar. Can't name a fella whose game is better. My reign is terror, you reign never. You only see rain and rainy weather. Complain forever, you blame Stacey, Jane and Heather. You claim you let her be free, that's insane. You tell her you're like me, we're not the same. You fed her, I say forget her. Even though I love everything about her, if she try me, then I will live without her. I will drop her within less than an hour. Just cause the tone of her voice is getting louder. Damn. You the type of guy that will never doubt her. Get him. If she left you, you would cry in the shower. Get him. You would never leave her cause you're a coward. You have no power. These niggas out here is whacking and whack. They cracking they back. To smash is a fact. They having a chat while grabbing their sack. They laughing with brats. They stacking their stacks. While asking for cat, they have to relax. My heart's cold and it's blacker than black. Been that nigga since Pun and Joe was packing the Mac and back of the act. She only fucking with you after the fact. She talking about me when she gets up at night saying that she's having a snack. I could do what I do cause I'm me. I am him cause I remind me. Told her keep up when she's behind me. She'll find the truth when she finds me. But if shorty start acting grimy, bitchin' moaning and acting whiny, being disrespectful and try me, you're gone.